It's Thursday night, it's Jimmy Buffett night, and it's the Hoppers and the Unicorns here at Jimmy John's Field on the USPBL Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome. That's Brady Beaton. I'm Brendan Shabath. Getting ready to bring you some Thursday night baseball on the USPBL Network, starting the weekend here on a Thursday. And Brady, this is perhaps maybe not the biggest weekend. We got championship weekend, all-star weekend coming up, but this is probably one of the more key weekends of the year, and that it's the first weekend of games post-college showcase. So on Monday, earlier this week, we had a number of college players come to Jimmy John's Field to have a closed-to-the-public tryout in front of the coaches and managers here in the league. Those coaches and managers then took whatever players in a draft order that they thought might be able to help their team. So we've got some fresh blood here in the league. We've got 7 new players that will be at tonight's game. A couple pitchers, a couple position players. We'll see some of them, but this is a really big weekend in the league. It's going to set the stage for the rest of the year.
Well, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head right at the end that you had about, a month or so to figure out what your shortcomings were as a team and address them. You got a lot of these guys fresh out of college. Some of these guys put up some mind-blowing numbers in college, trying to transition that to the professional game. But, yeah, setting the stage for the rest of the summer, figuring out what you are, because you're not going to have a lot of roster turnover from here on out.
And this is an important weekend, setting the stage. And not only to get some of the college guys here, but a lot of these college kids, the College World Series is currently still going on. Some of these kids didn't have their seasons finished at the start of the USPBL season, so thus they didn't have an opportunity to leave their university, leave their school, and come join the league. That's part of the reasoning behind the showcase tryout as well, is for some of the guys who couldn't be here at the start of the year, the early season tryout, they get another opportunity once their college season is over to come. We'll still have some new additions as the other college seasons end and the season progresses, but it's a big matchup tonight too, because these are the first and second place teams going into this first big weekend. The Unicorns currently 7-4 on the year in first place. The Hoppers 500 at 6-6 in second place right now. Still very early, still not a ton of games played, but it's very close right now in the rest of the league. Everybody's right there. The Unicorns are in first place, but they do have the least amount of games played.
They do, and the other thing that's maybe not sustainable is how they're winning their games. Their pitching staff has been tremendous all year long, and it's made up for some very lackluster hitting. Neither the Unicorns nor the Diamond Hoppers have done great at the plate. Diamond Hoppers have hit for a little bit of power, like they've had some pop in their bat, but the Unicorns have relied almost solely on pitching, hoping that maybe some of these guys coming out of college can help remedy those ails.
Diamond Hoppers, 8 home runs on the year, but a .216 team average. For the Unicorns, they're last in the league in team batting at .211. Both of the pitching staffs, like you mentioned, though, have been really stellar. They're the only 2 teams with a sub-4 team ERA, and the Unicorns are even sub-3 at .286. They've got one player on their roster who has a personal ERA above 4, and that's Connor Tomasic right now in his last start at 4.11. So barely above 4. They've done fantastic, and they added a couple arms as well. So did the Hoppers. And the Hoppers added an important distinction in the 2 arms that they get, one that we'll see starting tonight. They added 2 left-handers.
Yes, they did. So the Beavers no longer have the monopoly on lefties in the league. Going to get to see a little more of the southpaws, and we'll see one starting on the mound tonight for the Diamond Hoppers.
James Cole gets the start for the green and orange. He's a left-hander out of Davenport University, locally here in the state of Michigan. And interesting for him, no getting your feet wet. Just come in, get started right away, left-hander, and now we can talk about the platoon hitting when it comes to other teams, not the Beavers, because the Unicorns, 4 lefties in the lineup and 2 switch hitters. That's going to be key tonight.
Well, you talk about platoon hitting, but it's going to be tough to do when you have 2 guys available on your bench for both sides. And so you might be able to pinch hit one guy here or there, but for the most part, you're going to send guys out, and it's going to be up to the managers to make those right decisions, bringing in the arms they need to in the right situations, depending on where you are in the order.
And further discussing the availability on the bench, it's a little bit of a different story for both of these teams. The Unicorns, they're very fortunate. They get Josh Baker and Jacob Bisharat back from the IR. Bisharat had a back injury. He's back in the lineup today, batting fourth. That's a big bat that they need. He's going to be back. And for the other side, the Diamond Hoppers, they lose their best bat, Noah Marcoux, strained hamstring last weekend against the Mammoths, kind of re-aggravated that injury from earlier in the season. He's on the IR starting tonight. They'll check back in with him next week to see when he can get back.
Right, you always hope to have your best hitters in the lineup. And for the Unicorns, getting two guys in Baker and Bisharot back right at 3-4 in the lineup, that can prove huge to maybe be the spark plug to get your offense off the mat and put up 4, 5, 6 runs and not put so much pressure on that pitching staff.
Well, we've got some new blood, some new starters, and some new lineups coming up after the break. We've got more pregame show here on the USPBL Network. It's the Hoppers and the Unicorns on Jimmy Buffett night right here from downtown Utica.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field, finishing up the pregame show here on the USPBL Network. Let's take a look at our sponsors for tonight's matchup between the Hoppers and the Unicorns. As always, we start with Ascension. And today, of course, when you predict who the first one's going to be, it's going to be a different one. The Detroit News and then Ascension. Belfour Property Restoration. Budweiser. Dave & Buster's. DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and UWM. We thank all our proud sponsors for everything they do here for the league. Let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight. We'll start with the visiting Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We're going to step aside actually for the national anthem real quick, and then we'll come back with the starting lineups. First pitch in just a few moments here on the USPBL Network.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
The lineups are done. The anthem is done. All that's left is to throw out the first pitch. And before we do that, let's take a look at the lineup. We'll start with the 1 through 9 for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers visiting the Utica Unicorns tonight. Leading off, as always, and starting at shortstop is Alex Pup. We mentioned the college showcase happened on Monday and some newcomers. Luis Acevedo gets a start in his USPBL debut at second base. Anthony Flores is out in center batting third. Joe Burke will clean up tonight for the Hoppers. He's at first base defensively, followed by Bryant Schellenbarger, who's out in right field. Batting sixth is Chris O'Neill, the designated hitter tonight. Joey Califoot from Wisconsin making his USPBL debut after the college showcase. He bats seventh and plays out in left field. Todd Maddox has the hot corner duties. He's at third base, batting eighth. And Taj Porter, the switch-hitting catcher/third baseman, has the duties behind the dish tonight. He bats ninth. They're led on the mound by James Cole. But first, it'll be Utica Unicorn starter Carsey Walker facing the Diamond Hoppers. Here to start things off. Walker comes into the year, 7 appearances. One of them starts. This is just his second one. And we'll take a look at the defense behind him. It's Lucas Gooden in left, Nick Pastor out in center, and the newcomer Ryan Major out of LSU Shreveport getting the start in his USPBL debut. He's over there in right field. Left to right across the diamond on the infield is Patrick Baggett, Donovan Curiel, Cam Norgren, and Jacob Bisharat fresh off the IR at first base. And Justin Gomez rounds out the battery behind the plate. Here in the top of the first, it'll be Alex Pup, Luis Acevedo, and Anthony Flores for the Hoppers. And excited to see Carsey Walker get his second start this season. Carsey frequently works with us, the broadcast crew, on his off days, and we are very upset that the Unicorns are playing tonight because we don't get a good employee with us.
No, we don't, and he's a fun guy to be around, and I know he's excited to get the start on the mound, but I'm curious to see excited to see what these new guys can do. One guy in specific in the Diamond Hoppers lineup, you look at Joe Califoot, his college numbers jump off the page at you, and you think you have a pretty good bat added to a Diamond Hopper lineup that needs to get some hot sticks going.
Here on Jimmy Buffett night, there you see the records for each squad. The Hoppers second place at 6-6. The Unicorns first place at 7-4. But the least amount of games played so far this season. Carsey Walker comes in, a native of Saugatuck, Michigan. 3.27 ERA this year in 11 innings. Leads this highly touted, as we mentioned in the pregame show, Unicorns pitching staff in walks, has only surrendered 3 so far this year.
Yeah, and that's one thing that will lead to a successful pitching staff. When you're pounding the zone, when you're attacking, you give your defense a shot behind you. And, well, the Unicorns haven't made a ton of errors this year, and the pitching staff has reaped the rewards. Now, can they keep up this ridiculous pace? Who knows? But Diamond Hopper's going to try to get their offense going, something that's going to be a theme for both sides tonight. Talked about it in the pregame.
First pitch is at 7:03. It's a strike to Alex Pup as he foul tips it back to the screen, and we're underway between the Hoppers and the Unicorns. Brady Beaton, Brendan Shabath bringing you this call. We thank you so much for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, My Michigan TV, wherever you're watching. We are appreciative of you being here. For Carsey, it's a four-seam fastball, a sinker, a slider, and a changeup. 4-pitch mix.
I like the mix. I like when you have 4 pitches that all do different things.
2 balls and 1 strike. Walker has kept the walks low and the runs low so far this season. That one's a check swing. That will stay fair. Took a little hop towards the infield on that grass, and that is 1 up and 1 down. On the unassisted ground out to the first baseman brings up the newcomer Luis Acevedo.
And pitching's all about keeping the batter off their timing, off balance, and, well, that's why Walker's had success. That's why the whole Unicorn staff has had success. Not very confident swings like that, keeping the batters on their toes in a very quiet first out of this game.
Acevedo takes a fastball for strike 1. Luis Acevedo comes from Weber International in Florida collegiately. Had a really good season this past year. Fouls it back 0-2. Way more walks than strikeouts in his 3 years there. 93 walks. Went down on K's just 60 times total, and he goes down looking here. Walker with his first strikeout of the game.
And he painted the black on that last pitch. That's a heck of a pitch by Carsey Walker. Looked like the slider. He caught that low outside corner. And what a welcome to the USPBL, Carsey Walker with the nasty slide piece.
That's quickly 2 up and 2 down for Anthony Flores. Flores has had a good start to the year. Leads the Hoppers in RBIs and stolen bases, batting .297. Has played and started in all 12 games. Swing and a miss.
How about Walker attacking the zone right off the rip? Changing up pitches. It's not just the fastball trying to get it over. Thrown the changeup, thrown the slider, thrown the fastball / sinker, and has been able to keep it in the zone. That's what you want to see if you're in that Unicorn dugout.
The 0-2. Popped foul over the bleachers and out of play. We mentioned this is just the second start for Carsey. And his first one, which came back on June 7th, he had a really good start. 5 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run. Back on the 7th. That was also a win for the Unicorns over these Hoppers, 3-2. Bouncer to third. It's going to be a tough play, and Baggett can't quite get it in time. Trouble on the transfer, and Flores, who runs well at first base anyways, even if Baggett makes a perfect play there, that's going to be tough to get Anthony Flores over at first. That's an infield single, and the first base runner for the Hoppers.
Yeah, they gave him a hit as he should. Nothing that Carsey Walker did wrong. Made almost too good of a pitch. That's a swinging bunt. Baggett, again, like you said, he comes in, even a perfect exchange and a throw right on the money. I think Flores gets down there pretty easily. Throwing outs, though, that's what you like to see.
And just soft contact again. And that's what we were getting to is the walks have been low. The strikeouts have been about league average for Walker. But the hits, he's given up a lot of hits. Opponents come into today batting .326 against him. So there's obviously opportunities for the Hoppers offense to kind of buck the trend that they've had lately. It's a team that hits for power. They just don't hit often.
Right, and again, when you're a pitcher in the first handful, 10, 20 innings, one bad inning can really make those numbers go up.
Burke on the ground with a nice sharp single. That puts 2 on with 2 outs. Joe Burke, who has been locked in lately, finally gets one to land on the ground in a safe spot. He's been so unlucky lately. The batting average below 200 for him early on in the season. Low at bats again.
Right.
But one of the most unlucky players we've seen in the league. And talked to manager Ryan Koch. He said he's been dialed in. It just hasn't quite found its way to some base hits for Burke, but he gets one there to keep the inning alive for Bryant Schellenbarger. Swing and a miss.
And to put it in perspective where we are in the season, yeah, we've been playing for about a month or so, but it's been 12 games, so if you equate that to the major leagues, that's just a 2-week slump. And if you're hard, hey, you have such a long season that 2 weeks can be a blip on the radar, but when you start off the season slow and you see that number up there, it can be tough.
Schellenbarger, a little looper to left. Looked like it could have been trouble for a moment, but Gooden makes the grab. The Hoppers get a couple base runners, but nothing more than that, as Carsey Walker has a relatively easy first inning. We head to the home half of the first, scoreless on the USPBL network.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Take a look at the Unicorns lineup here, batting in the bottom of the first, tied at 0. Lucas Gooden leads off and plays in left. Patrick Baggett is in the 2-hole, playing third. We already saw him defensively last inning. Josh Baker, fresh off the IL, is the designated hitter tonight. He bats third. Jacob Bisharat, he had a good BP session pregame today.
Ball was flying out of here.
He's
I think
the
he put
cleanup
one
guy.
in the creek behind left field.
If there were odds on a home run tonight, I think Bisharat would be the odds-on favorite.
I think there's odds that there's going to be any hard hit ball is going to carry tonight.
He plays at first base defensively. Justin Gomez will bat behind him in the 5-hole and catch. Ryan Major, the newcomer, is out in right, batting sixth. Batting seventh, Nick Pastor out in center field. Batting eighth and playing second base is Cam Norgren, and batting ninth as the starting shortstop tonight is Donovan Curiel.
There are a few names in that lineup I want to really focus in on. Obviously, Bisharat, one of them you highlighted, but Baker and Major, two guys I think can make an impact.
The defense behind James Cole, Joseph Califoot, Anthony Flores, Brian Schellenbarger, and Todd Maddox, Alex Pup, Luis Acevedo, and Joe Burke as Taj Porter catches ball one from the newcomer Cole, who's freshly here in the USPBL making his debut. Cole comes out of Warren, Michigan. Not too far, just down the road. Played at Davenport in the Great Lakes Athletic Conference for 3 years. Was honorable mention all GLIAC this past year.
Davenport has a pretty good brand of baseball. They're always near the top of the GLIAC. Their baseball program was the one when they made the switch from NAIA to D2 was one of those that didn't really take much of a transition. They stepped in right away and started competing pretty well.
3 balls and no strikes on the leadoff man, Lucas Gooden. Lefty-lefty matchup, and he walked him on 4 pitches, so not a great start for Cole in his debut. Kind of surprising that he leads things off with a walk, just given where the numbers were in college. Over the 3 years he was there, he averaged 3.5 walks per 9 innings compared to 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Was really good.
I think you can
Walks
just
the case.
chalk it up to nerves. I mean, you talk to some guys around the league, they've never played in a stadium this big with this many fans watching.
On the ground, barely going foul from Baggett on the inside-out grounder.
I mean, even in the schools around here that would have played, the level of baseball is pretty solid, but you're never going to have 4,000 or 5,000 people watching you in like a Wayne State Davenport baseball game. You'll get a decent crowd, but it won't be anything like this. And also, first professional appearance, it's okay to have nerves. That means it's important to you.
For pretty much anything less than Division I, even some of these schools that have made it to we've had national champions from the Division II NAIA level play in this league. Even those national championship games don't get as big of a crowd as we have here in the USPBL on a regular weekend basis.
Right.
So that is a big factor for these guys to get over those nerves. And you're out there on the mound, that crowd's looking right at you. They're not only is the crowd here, but it's close.
Right. And Brennan, you spent a lot of time at Michigan State along their baseball team.
Baggett puts it out to center, and Flores is easily right there.
And you spent a lot of time out there, and, you know, Michigan State, that's a pretty well-known university. That's a pretty reputable school, big-time baseball. They don't get the biggest crowds there,
Absolutely.
so even if we have a lot of former Spartans here, so they come from East Lansing to here, they're going to experience a bigger crowd, so it's not a knock on, hey, you played NAIA or D3 or D2, whatever. It's more just about that college baseball traditionally, especially in the Midwest, doesn't get a ton of support during the regular season.
Josh Baker steps in and takes strike one. And it's a good crowd tonight on a Thursday night. The Chevy Pavilion is packed. The umbrellas are packed. The grandstands are pretty full.
And I think Cole's settled in a little bit. Had to get that first out of the way. And sometimes you get that settle down. I call it the Hoosiers moment. Hey, same distance to home plate. Base still 90 feet to first. Same game you've been playing since you've been about 6.
What a great movie.
I think that's a good reference for any sport. You know,
it is.
A reference
10
that
feet high
if you haven't seen it, the little school from Indiana playing for a state title, they measure it, saying, hey, it's 10 feet high, the same as back where we play.
The 1-2 to Baker. Soft swing over the mound. Tough play. Diving Cole can't make it. Pup. Bare hand grab. Throw to first. Nice job picking up his pitcher. Alex Pup with a nice play to get the second out. They weren't able to get Gooden going to second, so it's a man in scoring position and 2 outs for Jacob Bisharat.
And they never had a chance. And talking with some of the guys around the Diamond Hoppers, they really like Alex Pup at short. And they think they have something similar over at second, Acevedo. And they think they're going to have the smoothest middle infield in the league.
The first adjective Ryan Kotke, manager for the Hoppers, used to describe Luis Acevedo was smooth regarding his defense. So that 1-2 punch up the middle looks like a good one right now for the Hoppers with Pup and Acevedo at short and second.
And that can help keep the pitching numbers for the Diamond Hoppers low where it has been. You get 2 vacuums in the middle of the infield, you can steal a few hits away every game.
Bisharat takes ball 1 inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on the 23-year-old from Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Returned today from the IR. Had a back issue, kind of nerve issues with his back, and caused him to miss a few games. Swings and misses at strike 2.
And like you brought up when we were going through the lineup, Bisharat didn't look like he had any problem with the back in BP. He was cranking them. The ball's been carrying. I'd be a little surprised if we go all 9 and don't see one clear the fence tonight.
The 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bisharat comes in playing 8 total games, hitting .217. A guy with minimal professional experience before the USPBL. He played 2 games with the Evansville Otters in the Frontier League last summer. Lines this one on the ground to third. A nice pick there by Maddox and a throw over to first to get the third out. So a couple base runners for both sides in the first inning, but nothing doing. We're scoreless after 1 here on the USPBL Network.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARBCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARBCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARBCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarbcom.com.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Thirsty Thursday, Jimmy Buffett night here on the USPBL Network. A couple Diamond Hoppers hoping to get something doing offensively here in the second inning against Carsey Walker, who had a pretty good first inning. Looked like he was going to breeze through it at first. Got a ground out to Pup. Struck out Acevedo looking. Then a couple base hits from Flores and Burke before Schellenbarger finally flew out to end the inning, which means it's Chris O'Neill, Joey Califoot, and Todd Maddox here in the second against Walker.
Looks like they're fixing one of the drains behind the pitcher's mound.
I'm not sure. Maybe Cole stepped on that as he was going back to field that high chopping ball. He did fall. I thought that he maybe fell just because it was a tough play, but
yeah, you're going backwards on a decline. That's not necessarily an easy play to make.
That drain back there is, I believe, the hose connection for watering the infield pregame and during the off days. O'Neill, the DH, 2 home runs on the season. He had a home run in the Hoppers game last weekend. Absolutely smoked a fastball. Probably the shortest duration of hang time of any home run we're going to see this year. Just an absolute bullet through the Chevy Pavilion over there in left field last week.
He said, I don't need your launch angle.
Yeah.
Just hit it hard and the backspin will keep it going up.
Absolutely. Maybe another long ball now. Look at that flag. When that center field flag, which is protected by the trees back there, is blowing like that, that's when you know the wind is certainly picking up and playing a factor.
Absolutely. Blowing pretty hard out to left, so righties, if they can elevate, they might have a chance.
Well, O'Neill tried to do it. Walker elevated with the pitch, and that's a strikeout, his second of the game for Carsey Walker. Those are the pennants. Those are the ones that are probably a better gauge on a pitch-by-pitch, inning-by-inning basis. Because the center field flag is protected by those trees, it doesn't blow as often as the pennants do out and left. First pitch to Califoot in his first professional at-bat. Guy who came in with some very impressive numbers
You're not
in
kidding.
college.
Ryan Cockey basically said he owns every offensive record at his college.
Tough grounder to short, and he beat it out. Tough play for Donovan Curiel, and Califoot got down that line quickly and was able to beat out a single for his first professional hit. He set Edgewood records. We talked about every offensive category for both the single season and career in home runs, doubles, games played, at-bats, and walks in his 5 seasons at Edgewood, which is a D3 college in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's quite a few records to have for your career.
That's strike one to Todd Maddox, batting for the first time tonight. 4 for 26 so far in 11 games this year. We saw Califoot get down the line quickly on that ground ball. And that was a tough play anyways.
Yeah, it's the second single Walker's given up like that, just that high chopper that the longer it hangs in the air, all you can do is wait for gravity to do its job.
Swing and a miss. Carsey Walker is cooking right now. That's his 3rd strikeout in 8 batters faced, 2 of them swinging, and that's 2 outs in the inning.
The reason why that high heater's been effective is he's shown the ability to throw that slider low in a way that he's been able to pick that low outside corner. So you can't just sit fastball. And if you think for even just a split second, oh, he might be coming with some off speed and that fastball comes at you, it's too late. I mean, he's sitting close to 90. If you're not sitting fastball, you're toast.
That's fouled away into the bullpen for the Unicorns by Taj Porter, switch hitter batting left. He will continue to bat left all night as the Unicorns still don't have any lefties on their pitching staff. Can no longer say that about the Hoppers. They added 2 from the showcase. This one's high in the air to center. Camping under it is Pastor, and he'll put that in his pocket to end the frame. Another base runner for the Hoppers, but that's it. They've got 3 hits, but nothing doing so far. Unicorns batting in the second after the break.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
At Ascension, Michigan, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare. Our nationally recognized heart program is the leader throughout Michigan in minimally invasive heart valve procedures. For joint replacement, spine, and cancer care, patients choose our specialists for advanced care and treatment. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
Back here on the US PBL Network, the crowd right now is watching the video board as we had some breaking news over the break. The league leader right now in batting, Francis Florentino, is no longer the league leader because he's not in the league. He just got signed by the Minnesota Twins, the 49th player in US PBL history to be signed to a major league organization out of the United Shores Professional Baseball League. And there you see Francis watching the video on the video board right now on field level, and much congratulations to him. Well deserved. I mean, he did nothing but impress ever since he got here, hitting above 400 from day one, and the second woolly mammoth to leave this year.
And it wasn't, well, it was a surprise because we didn't know about it. We heard over the PA, we'd like to congratulate our latest player that's signed by a professional team, and we looked at each other like, hold on.
Who is
and then
this?
they said Francis Florentino, and we're like, well, we didn't know about it.
But
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I was happy every time I got to watch him play because I knew at any time any organization that saw him play would find a spot for him and give him a chance. I mean, he made an impact from opening day when he robbed a walk-off home run and just hit everything. It felt like his average exit velocity was like 92.
You kind of knew after that game-saving home run robbery that Francis Florentino might be a name to remember, and not for long as he's moving on to the Minnesota Twins. Much congratulations to him and to the Woolly Mammoths for having two players now depart for a major league organization. One pitcher, one position player.
Yes, and well, they both deserved it. Joins Jake Wazinski and Kyle Bischoff as the two others that have gone to the Twins organization. That's kind of been where a lot of guys from the USPBL have headed.
And a 4-pitch walk to start the inning as Justin Gomez looks at 4 outside. That's the second walk and second on just 4 pitches for James Cole in his professional debut. Brings up in his first professional at-bat, Ryan Major. He takes ball 1 low.
And Ryan Major's kind of a nice foil, I guess, to Joe Califoot. Two outfielders that both put up pretty
stunning.
Yes, stunning's the good word. Numbers in college because they jumped off the page right away. And you're like, yeah, it makes sense that they got done with college and immediately were playing pro ball somewhere.
Ryan Major in his 2023 season, really that one season that he just finished about a month ago, he said his last game was on May 20th when he finished up the season, sets the tone for just what his entire college career was. He hit .472 with a .500 on-base percentage and slugged the ball still, even though batting .472 at .689. This is all at LSU Shreveport, an NAIA school down there in Louisiana. A 1.189 OPS. He had 45 steals. And he gets a base hit to start his professional career here in the USPBL. And in all 3 years he was at LSU Shreveport, he walked more than he struck out. Finished with 48 walks and 37 Ks in 3 years.
So just to give some fans context, the OPS was what in his final year at
1189.
1189.
1.189.
Again, just for context, again, it's LSU Shreveport. Barry Bonds, his career OPS was 1.051. Now, I mean, in no way am I saying he's going to be
right.
Barry Bonds, but just to give you the level of dominance he had.
And this is a bunt on the third base line, and that goes foul.
Ooh.
What a play by Todd Maddox.
That's a gutsy play.
The way he judged that ball to be able to tell that that's going to skip, because you're right, if it stays fair, that's probably scoring 1, maybe 2 runs with how softly it goes into left field.
That's a double on a bunt, if not more, because California was a little late getting over. Wow, that's one. If you have to be right. Because if you're wrong, you're getting an earful going back in the dugout.
That was Nick Pastor laying it down. Instead, it's just strike 1. Pastor pops it foul. It's going to be a long run for Maddox. He won't get there as it just barely stayed in play over at the umbrella tables over there. So 2 strikes on Pastor. But back to your point about the OPS, you can look at the major league numbers as kind of a gauge for just in general in baseball.
Right, just to know really what's good, what's average, what's not good.
Anybody with a 1 dot is really good, because in Major League Baseball there are 2 players right now with an OPS over 1,000.
Correct.
They're named Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
So any baseball player at any level who does a 1 dot is pretty impressive. To make it
simple, OPS on base plus slugging. On base, how often you get on. Slugging, to put it in the simplest terms, how many bases do you get an at-bat?
This one's roped out to right. This could be 2 bases in this at-bat. Coming around third, trying to score is Gomez. Over to third is Major. He's safe as that skips away, and out of play it goes. So Major will score, and Nick Pastor has a 2-run triple, and the Unicorns are on the board first. A lot happening there, but a great at-bat for Pastor, and it results in 2 RBIs and him being 90 feet from home with nobody out.
And I get what Schellenbarger was trying to do, catch the runner, maybe being too aggressive, assuming he was throwing home. But I don't know. That one just I think you might have been able to keep Pastor at first if you don't.
Or at least second.
Yeah. But I think he started to go on the throw to third. You can, at that point, neutralize the damage. So throw it in, get runners on the corners with nobody out. Instead, he had a good throw, I mean, at least velocity-wise, but it's off base a bit, and now 2 runs coming to score on, well, at least 1 on the throwing error.
It probably would officially go in as a double and extending to third on the throw.
And I think you could make an argument double or single, but it's all semantics.
That one's fought off foul by Norgren. He's got 2 strikes on him. Tough for Cole here in the second. Started with a 4-pitch walk to Gomez and then a 3-0 single to Ryan Major. Then he got 2 strikes on Pastor, was ahead 0-2, and Pastor roped the triple to right. Now Norgren with 2 strikes, takes inside for ball 1. Cam Norgren batting .156 early on in this USPBL season. Just 10 games for him so far. 1-2, fouled again.
Tried to put the fastball by him. Norgren able to just stick the bat out and spoil that pitch. It's a pretty good location for Cole, too.
Cole has 5 pitches in his bag, 2 of them fastballs, as Norgren will take a timeout. Both the 2 and 4 seam. Also has a curveball, slider, and changeup. Pretty standard mix for the lefty from Warren, Michigan.
Don't worry about that pitch clock.
I say maybe trying to throw off the timing of Norgren here. All the way until 2, and Norgren pops it up. Right side, Porter and Burke. It'll be Burke taking it, and someone's got to cover home plate as both Cole and Porter race back just in case Pastor had any crazy ideas of tagging up on, what, a 40-foot pop out in foul territory.
Well, I mean, if they're all over there, you could probably hear from the first base dugout someone was yelling, someone cover home, because at the same time Cole and Porter, almost like they're running a shuttle cone drill, put their foot in the dirt and turned around. That's a good pitch to get a first out on Norgren, get it quietly in foul territory.
That brings up Donovan Curiel. First pitch swinging way through it for strike one. Curiel from West Covina, California. Waiting on the 0-1. That's high for ball one. He was here in the USPBL 2 years ago, back in 2021, with these Unicorns playing for Jim Messian. He took off last year to coach his younger brother, Derek, who's currently in high school right now. And
well, don't bury the lead.
You can't blame him for taking a year off to coach Derek, because Derek Curiel is currently, in the class of 2024 for high schoolers playing baseball, the #1 prospect in the entire country.
Not the state, not at his position, #1 overall
in
prospect.
In the United States, he's the #1 prospect. He's an outfielder, plays center field, bats left, throws left. He's already committed to play at LSU, who LSU's got a big night tonight playing in the College World Series semifinals against Wake Forest. As Curiel takes the 2-2, that's fouled back. His younger brother, Derek, currently, to keep things a little bit local, down in Georgia right now playing with the Detroit Tigers scout team.
So what you're telling me is he's pretty good at baseball.
I think so. And I don't blame Derek for taking a year off for himself to help coach his younger brother. And, hey, props to Donovan for coaching Derek to the player that he's been. The 2-2, fouled back again. Donovan staying alive here in the bottom of the order in the second with one out, and Pastor over on third.
And it's been a pretty nice battle from Curiel. This is a big at-bat. If you can get a strikeout, another pop-out, now that runner on third is going to require a base hit to get him home. Curiel, if he can get it to the middle infield, they're playing normal depth. Get an RBI, doesn't necessarily need the hit.
Popped up right side, back a few steps for Burke. Easily makes the grab, and again, nothing for Pastor to do over there at third. So back-to-back pop-outs for 2 outs, and those are big for Cole to try to stop the bleeding here in the second. If they can get out of this with just 2 runs given up, I'd say that's a win given where the inning started.
Absolutely, and I was just about to say I love the response from Cole. You give up a walk, a single, another hit, and an error that brings in one of the 2 runs, then you get the next 2 batters to pop up. You're one good pitch away from limiting the damage in this inning.
Lucas Gooden batting for the second time in as many innings takes strike one. He walked on 4 pitches the first time. James Cole still looking for that first pro strikeout. He's ahead in the count here and stays ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Cole was at Davenport in the GLIAC, as we mentioned. Honorable mention in 2023, this past year, for all GLIAC. And he persuades Gooden to another timeout. Second time he's gotten the batter to take time, maybe trying to throw the timing off of the batter. Not usually how you hear that.
Well, all year long, now there's technically a pitch clock in college baseball. It's not enforced. They don't have the physical clock out in center field, so something maybe to get a little used to.
That slider misses outside. There you see the pitch clock. New to the USPBL this year, and I tell you, as a broadcaster, it makes the games feel faster, certainly in between pitches.
It just gives it a flow, and that's something that, as a fan, when I'm in the stands, I find myself, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not getting distracted. I'm engaged because I know every 10 to 15 seconds something's happening.
Porter does a nice job blocking that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now as Gooden has fought his way back even in this count.
Been a couple of nice at-bats the last few from the Unicorns. Patient, I know Curiel popped out, but he still battled. He's worked that pitch count up for Cole. Seen a lot of this new guy.
2-2. Fly ball, right field going back. Schellenbarger just in front of the warning track. Had a little bit of carry, some oohs and ahs off the bat from Gooden, but nothing doing. 2 runs on the triple from Nick Pastor, and the Unicorns have an early lead. It's 2-0 here from Jimmy John's Field.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. fsbcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
JJ here at Jimmy John's Field out there. Here as we get ready to start the 3rd inning between the Unicorns and the Hoppers over there in his apartment.
Got the best view.
We should try to call a game from over there.
You might be able to fit in there. I don't know if
we
my
don't have to sit in it. We could sit next to it.
Yeah, sit a game with JJ.
We just have to bring our gloves so we could catch foul balls because
I think
they might come rocketing at us.
I think we'd be far enough away. We'd have good reaction time.
When's the last time you put on a glove and fielded a ball?
Wow, let me think about that. It's probably been a year or two.
Okay.
I feel like I put a glove on for something like once a summer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference like playing catch versus like
not,
off the bat.
Not off of any of these guys,
ready.
though.
Yeah, well, certainly not. Pup puts one out to center field, ranging over his Pastor, and he got a nice jump. Made the grab in the gap for the first out.
That's a nice swing from Pup. Just carried a little bit too much. Stung it pretty well, caught the barrel. But like you said, Pastor read it off the bat perfectly.
Still waiting for that fly ball that we think is going to carry.
Thought we had it in the end of the last inning. Off the bat, I was one that leaned in.
Acevedo takes strike 1. He struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. Falls behind 0-2.
Like to see Acevedo or just someone in this Diamond Hopper lineup use the timeout. There it is, because Walker was getting into a rhythm. He was catch, get back, and move. And talking with Carsey, he said he hasn't even thought about the pitch clock. He just gets into this rhythm.
Swing and a miss. Second time in a row, Carsey Walker gets Acevedo on 3 pitches. That's the 4th K for Walker, and we're here in the 3rd.
And I know a lot of other pitchers feel the same way that Walker does, that you just get it back and you're just going. Instead of sitting there waiting, that you've changed your mentality, and now it's just catch, go, catch, go. And especially when you're throwing like Walker is, you can rack up the strikeout numbers fairly quickly.
Walker, who has had modest strikeout numbers so far, trying to increase those here. Gets a strike to Flores, who sits at 1-1.
I don't think Flores quite agreed with that. The low strike has been there for Walker tonight.
It's been there in baseball the past couple years due to the adjustment catchers have made with their new positioning. That was a hot topic of conversation last year with a lot of the catchers and the coaches around the league. Catchers going down to a knee, trying to steal that low strike. There you see Gomez. He goes down to a knee, and Walker goes up with the fastball for his 5th strikeout. That's the 5th third out of the game. And Walker's got 5 strikeouts. 5th third out, always brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, and the Unicorns hanging on to a 2-0 lead as we've played 2.5 innings here from Jimmy John's Field. We saw JJ at the top of the inning, and we'll see him again now.
But your business has grown fast, and so have the
as he runs out there to go deliver water, as always, to our field umpire. Of course, he gets his treats in return. Always a fair exchange out there in shallow right field. And now it's time for our DTE Kid Race the Mascot with Chelsea Cooper down in the field. And we'll be right back after this with the bottom of the third in the USPBL Network.
You dreamed of starting a company, not an HR department, but your business has grown fast, and so have the complexities of payroll and taxes, benefits administration, and other HR functions. That's why your business needs a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions. Tryon provides businesses of all sizes access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Bottom third, James Cole still working, looking for a better inning here in the bottom of the third, as gave up a couple runs in the last inning. 6 batters came to the plate for the Unicorns. Gomez and Major were the ones that scored off the Nick Pastor. We're calling it a single up here in the booth. That's unofficially on mine and Brady's scorecards. He got over to third. He singled to right. 2 runs came across. The throw went to third from Schellenbarger out in right field, and Maddox wasn't able to grab it, and it scooted away from third base into the Unicorns' dugout. By then, after the Pastor had seen the throw had gone to third, he was running past second base and was awarded third base on the out-of-play ball. We're calling it a single extending, but
either way, he got an RBI.
He did get to third and at least 1 RBI. 2 runs came across on the swing. Patrick Baggett takes strike 1. He flew out his first time up.
I want to see how Cole works. 2, 3, 4 in the order coming up. Baker and Bisharat, they both grounded out, but especially Bisharat hit it pretty well on the screws, just hit it on the ground. Want to see how he does the second time through the heart of the order.
Baggett hits that one on the screws to third, and Maddox is right there. Hard line out. A couple of good swings for Baggett tonight, but nothing resulting.
It's the old cliche I bring up every game, be process-based, and baseball can be a very hard game to do that in, because you have your picture up on the scoreboard, and hey, you might be hitting the ball hard. They don't have barrel percentage or any of the advanced analytics.
It's got average up there.
Yeah, it has average. So you hit it hard right at someone a few times. You only have 40 at-bats. The average might not be what you want it to be.
Sharply up the ground, or on the ground, up the middle for Josh Baker. And he gets his first hit since returning from the IL. And that's, in talking about being process-based and focusing on the process and not the numbers, that's happened a lot to a lot of guys in this league. There were a couple last year. Really high BABIPs, batting average on balls in play, or really low BABIPs with low batting averages that you expect to go up. A guy with a low batting average on balls in play means he's putting the ball in play, but it's not resulting in hits, and that's due to either good plays by the fielders or he's hitting it directly to somebody. Again, we don't have those numbers yet, and those numbers are again, that's not a number you see on the scoreboard, but it is important to understanding the story of a hitter. And a lot of times, guys with a BABIP that coincides with just getting a little bit unlucky, it does eventually even out. Baseball is a game where everything kind of comes full circle and will level out to the best players are going to play the best and have the best numbers.
You need about a few hundred at-bats before you can really make a determination on what a guy is.
Bisharat waits on the 0-2 outside for ball one.
It was a few weeks ago, Duncan Hewitt joined me in the broadcast booth, and we kind of came to the conclusion that the numbers you see on the screen, average home runs, RBIs, those are like reading the spark notes of a chapter, and all the advanced analytics, that's like reading the book cover to cover. You can get the gist of a player from the ones on the screen, but to really know the full story, you need all the advanced stats.
And courtesy of the USPBL development page on Twitter, we learned this week that the USPBL has joined the TrackMan family to get those advanced numbers. So the TrackMan has been installed here at Jimmy John's Field, and those advanced numbers are coming. They are on their way, and I know the players are excited. I know the coaches are excited. Us broadcasters are excited. Gives us more stuff to talk about. And again, like we're saying right now, a better understanding of pitchers, hitters, teams in general.
Absolutely.
Bisharat has worked the count full, and he's worked it to a walk. 0-2, and 4 straight balls from James Cole. Puts 2 on with 1 out. And Justin Gomez now batting.
That was a nice patient at-bat from Bisharat. Those pitches that missed inside weren't missing by much. The discipline to take that pitch all 3 times.
Sends Baker over to second. Gomez walked and scored last inning. That's the 3rd walk for Cole. And 3 walks is perhaps a little bit generous. He's been wild and has struggled a little bit to find the strike zone. There you see that little gray line kind of on the left side. That's the TrackMan right up here back behind home plate. Nice job by our camera crew there. Nice night tonight for some baseball. 2 on, 1 out. Gomez behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout in the first professional one for James Cole. Comes in a big spot. That's the 2nd out. He's trying to strand those runners over there on the base paths.
And I think they're going to get that ball out of there for him.
There we go.
Always have that one.
Yep.
No one can ever take that away from him at this point. He has had a professional strikeout, and I've liked what I've seen from times at Cole. He's been a little Jekyll and Hyde tonight where he'll go a couple batters and go, all right, I see what they have to work with. Then he loses the command a little bit or he misses over the plate and he gets hit hard at times.
You know what it really seems like? It seems like the sitting down in between innings. The first batter in each inning hasn't exactly been great. He did get Baggett this inning on just 2 pitches to line out. That was a hard liner.
Yeah, I don't think that's a pitch Cole would want to make again because it was hit pretty hard just right at Maddox.
Major singled and scored in his first pro at bat. He's ahead with a good hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes. And a good hitter at the plate pops it up foul that will get over the netting just to the grandstands here. Strike 2 on the outside edge.
Did Major think that he had 3 balls on him? He looked like he started to walk to first base.
I think he definitely didn't think it was a strike.
But he started moving to first, didn't he?
It was a long step. He fell over the plate. 2-2. On the ground is short. Pup fields. That's an easy play for the veteran Alex Pup, as always. And a nice job by James Cole to steady himself in the 3rd inning after stranding 2 base runners. 2-0 Unicorns here in the USPBL Network.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Good night for baseball. Wind's kind of blowing. We're waiting to see if it has any effect on the fly balls, and there just have not been many of those with Carsey Walker on the mound. There's our band at the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union soundstage playing Jimmy Buffett all night long.
It's that time of year.
The Hawaiian shirts are out. It's summertime, and we celebrate.
Officially summer.
Jimmy Buffett, brought to you by Starry here on the USPBL Network.
It's that time to, sit around the campfire, sit at a beach, and you hear Jimmy Buffett playing in the background, and it's a pretty good night in Michigan.
Burke, Schellenbarger, and O'Neill here in the top of the fourth against Carsey Walker, who has been shut down through 3 innings. No walks, just 3 hits. Obviously no runs as you see the goose egg on the scoreboard, and 5 strikeouts. Burke, one of those just 3 hits that Walker has given up. A sharp single to left field on the ground last inning. And we had a group on the field in between innings, so they're finally cleared off over there in right field. And now Burke's ready to dig in that right-handed batter's box.
And only 38 pitches through 3 innings for Walker. That's pretty efficient, and that's about as efficient as you can ask somebody to be, about 13 pitches an inning.
Good quick math. I was doing it in my head. You beat me to it.
Oh, there's a reason why I'm in the booth, and it's not because I was a math major. So
I can definitely say
do
the same
all right
thing.
with that. Like sports-related math, I can do all right with.
I can do the deficit in a basketball game.
Right.
The team's down 13 or what, but beyond that, you're asking a little much.
With football, I think I learned my multiplications of 7s before anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Burke fights it off. Football, I always find it most difficult getting over the 50-yard line. It's a 43-yard pass, but you got to do all that. Yeah. Swing and a miss. Burke down on K's. Carsey Walker, 6 strikeouts in the last 3 in a row against the Hoppers. Gets the first out here in the 4th.
And that off-speed's working really nicely. A couple innings ago, it was the fastball busting it up and in. This time, it was that slider blown away. And when you have both working, you're changing eye level. You're changing different accesses. So you're changing in and out with the speed, but you're changing up and down and in and out and side to side. It makes timing really tough on a hitter. At that point, you're almost guessing.
Schellenbarger fouls the first pitch back. And that one's on the ground, sharply through for a base hit. That left side of the infield has been the sweet spot for the Hoppers in this game. By my count, unofficially on my scorecard, 3 of their 4 hits have gone through that gap.
Yeah, and the other one was, just a high chopper?
A third base line, yeah.
So of the 4 hits, 2 of them really haven't been Walker's fault. It's just one of those plays like that.
And this is a double play ball to Curiel. Second for one. Relay to first. Got him. A nice 6-4-3 double play. And Carsey Walker is out of the inning again. His second straight 1, 2, 3. And we'll take a break. Be back after these words from our sponsors in the U.S. PBL Network.
Roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers, our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Those are the umbrella tables down the third base side next to the Utica Unicorns dugout, spanning to the Chevy Pavilion, a home run hotbed here in the U.S. PBL. Good spot to catch a ball game, and they're busy tonight.
Yes, it is. I mean, to sit down the line, get a pretty good view. There's really not a spot where you have a bad view.
No bad seat in this building. It'll be Pastor, Norgren, and Curiel, 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Unicorns with a 2-0 lead. Still working against James Cole, trying to steady himself in this start. All in all, with the amount of base runners it's been, still only being 2 runs, it's pretty good work for Cole and the Hoppers' defense.
And only the 1 was earned, so the line score is going to tell a bit of a confusing story, one that you have to really deduce that the box score is not going to tell the entirety of his outing. I want to see how he works with the leadoff man. As you mentioned last inning, the leadoff man got on the first 2 innings and last time hit one on the screws. See if he can get a week out, start off the 4th.
And Pastor did have that RBI base hit last inning, or excuse me, in the second inning. That brought those 2 runs around. Pastor, early season numbers leading the Unicorns in average, 303 through his first 10 games. Also leading them in slugging. We kind of mentioned some of the offensive numbers that were low for this team. As a team, they came in slugging just 292. He was leading at 364. Check swing, he went around. That is strike 3, and there's the leadoff man down.
Well, and you mentioned Pastor was leading. He's coming into the night, he was the only Unicorn batting higher than 240. Like, it is a steep drop-off. Like, Pastor's been the one kind of leading the charge, and then Moses, who had the night off at 238, and then you get into the 220s and below.
And I think not just only in that regard, but in the overall team stats. We mentioned 35 runs scored for the Unicorns through 11 games. Less than 4 runs a game is not exactly a winning recipe. It's probably just below where league average is going to end up after this year. But when we talk about Josh Baker and Jacob Bisharot getting back in the lineup, that's where they think some reinforcements might be coming for those offensive stats. And Cam Norgren lines a single to right field.
I like that. He took it the other way, let it travel, barreled it up, didn't try to do too much with it. Good one-out hit.
Curiel takes a ball high and inside for ball 1. Norgren waiting over at first. The 1-0. Foul back. Some of the underlying numbers for the Unicorns are even scarier than the lack of some of the offensive stats at your basic level. 35 runs, we mentioned, 216 team average, a 292 team slugging. They're 0 for 6 with the bases loaded. With runners in scoring position, they're hitting less than 230 as there's a pickoff move over to first, and Norgren gets back safely. With 2 outs, the team is hitting 223.
And you hope just as a team, a few guys start to heat up, a couple of new faces energize your lineup.
Curiel on the ground. This is going to be a tough play. Maddox will field it. He'll just go to first for 1, and they do get Curiel by about a full step, but that does send Norgren over to second base.
Only good thing he didn't hit it very hard. If he hits it hard, that's a tailor-made double play ball. As it stands, hey, you ground out, but silver lining almost works as a sacrifice. Gets a guy in scoring position for the top of the order.
We talked about some of the advanced stats as Lucas Gooden, batting for the 3rd time in 4 innings, takes ball 1. Some of the advanced stats that we're going to get from TrackMan and that we're excited for. Gooden smokes this one out to right field. That one's deep, going back to the gap. It drops just short of the warning track and hops up to the base of the wall. Scoring easily is Norgren. Gooden cruises into second base. That's an RBI double as the Unicorns extend their lead. It's 3-0.
And the 3rd time you get to see a new batter, and Gooden took that one for a ride, barreled it up. Off the bat, I thought it might have had a chance, hit it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. You always see that 3rd time through the orders when batting averages seem to spike, and Gooden saw one he liked and didn't hesitate.
And that kind of goes to the point I was just about to make, too. We don't have the advanced numbers right now, but the best we can do is look at some of the more niche stats. And one that I always pay attention to for pitchers and for hitters, and it does play a factor for team stats as well, is the fly-out to ground-out ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And as a pitcher, you want to get more ground-outs. That's soft contact, contact on the ground, easy outs. As hitters, you want to be flying out more than you're grounding out. You're putting the ball in the air, you're lining it out, you're getting it up. And the Unicorns have the best ratio when it comes to that. They average almost 2 more flyouts for every ground-out. So maybe these offensive numbers have a chance to turn around. That's a pretty far-fetched way of looking at the advanced numbers, but there is something there. Baggett puts it on the ground. Nice scoop by Maddox. Throws over to first. Got him. Good play from Todd Maddox on the tough in-between hop. That's the 3rd out, but the Unicorns scratch another across. Thanks to Lucas Gooden on the RBI double. It's 3-0.
How do these business owners find the time for peace of mind? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with Tryon, one of the nation's top professional employer organizations, provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and its team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
Unicorns now working with a new 3-0 lead thanks to the RBI double from Lucas Gooden back in the last half inning, scoring Cam Norgren. Hopper's looking for some offense right now. Maybe they get an opportunity. They don't have to face Carsey Walker anymore. He had a fantastic outing. 4 innings, 6 Ks, No walks, no runs, just 4 hits. What numbers from Carsey Walker. Now the newcomer making his professional debut and USPBL debut is the right-hander out of Warren, Ohio, Jacob Harsany.
Harsany, another righty. Like you said, new guy for the Unicorns. Just a 3-pitch mix, a sinker, a slider, and a changeup. So everything's going to have a little bit of movement. Nothing he throws is going to be straight. And the righty out of Ashland is going to get a chance here. With a 3-0 lead, you're coming in against the bottom part of the order. This is about as I guess the best way to ease someone in to their professional debut.
That's a sinker with a lot of horizontal movement from Harsany. We mentioned Cole out of Davenport, the starter for the Hoppers, and currently still their pitcher as he was out there the last inning. In the GLIAC, well, he played against Harsany, who went to Ashland, which is also in the GLIAC. Perry Bewley from the USPBL last year also pitched on these Unicorns. He was an Ashland member. As Harsany, first pitch is a ball to Joey Califoot.
So 2 newcomers get to square off. And it's a little bit of fun for us because we get to see all these new guys and we get to learn basically along with you. I mean, we get to talk to them and we can read a bio, but anyone can Google someone's name and try to get an idea, but finally learn what these guys are about. We've kind of settled in with the new crop from the start of the season. Now, a few new faces to learn, and 2 of them going up against each other right here.
Califoot on the ground to third, backhanding his Baggett to throw over. Nice job. Good extension there by Bisharat, too, to make the nice play. 1 up and 1 down for Harsany.
And I like the way that Bisharat approached that at first base. He had to make an adjustment, and he didn't stretch too early. Sometimes you'll see first basemen try to stretch first, and then when it's off kilter, they can just reach. That time he waited a little bit, kept his leg up in the air, was able to stretch down the first base line and make the play.
Maddox takes a ball high. Carsey Walker, we also found out, finished with 46 pitches. And interesting because the Unicorns play a doubleheader on Saturday against the Mammoths. There's 2 ways to look at that. I guess maybe you want to save Walker for the doubleheader. He's pitched in relief before as well. But also, you could have extended him in this game. I mean, he looked like he had another 3, maybe 4 innings in the tank.
Right. He was pitching pretty well. And there's different ways to look at it. In this league, sometimes you want to make sure everyone gets their work. You want to see what you have from a guy like Jacob Harsany and throw him out there and see what he can do. And you know that if knowing Walker, say, hey, if we need you for an inning or 2 on Saturday, are you good for it if you only throw 50 or less pitches? And if so, then you saved an arm.
Check swing. Maddox went, says our home plate umpire. Makes it 2-2. Harsany, that sinker, slider, changeup mix. Sinker sits around 90-91. Off speed fills the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Harsany almost 140 innings in his 3 seasons at Ashland, and he plunks Maddox on a full count, just ran it up inside on him. Maddox takes that 191 off the shoulder, and he'll head to first.
He's trying to get that high and in fastball. Got away from him a little bit. Maddox crowds the plate from the right side, so it didn't miss as bad as maybe you'd think, but no one tell Todd Maddox that because that I'm sure that one stung a little bit.
Now Porter digs in. 0 for 1, flew out to center his first time up back in the 3rd inning. Pops it up left side. This is medium depth left field as it kind of hung up there a little bit. Gooden's able to collect it for the 2nd out. And Brady, you were mentioning us getting to learn about these players. It's always fun talking to the pitchers and asking them about their specific pitches and their approach because a particular pitch can be so different from one pitcher to the next. We mentioned that the mix for Harsany is sinker, slider, changeup. And the reason why is because the sinker goes one way and the slider goes the other, and he likes to play those off of each other. And then you've got kind of the straight changeup, which is the off-speed, keeping the hitter off balance as he works Maddox back to the bag. But it's funny, that the new pitch in baseball, particularly in Major League Baseball, that has become very popular is the sweeper, which is kind of an altered version of your standard slider. And the sweeper focuses more on horizontal break, getting that big right to left, and they'll use those advanced stats like we talked about to dial up the inches of movement and stuff like that. And actually, Harsany throws a sweeper. He said he was throwing a sweeper before it was a sweeper. He always just wanted a pitch that similar to his sinker, but moved the opposite way, had a bunch of horizontal movement, and now they've got Maddox in a rundown, and he's out at second base. Nice job by Harsany. 2 pickoff moves. They have the 2 disengagement rule here in the USPBL, so that was a key pickoff. And they get Maddox at second for the third out. It's 3-0 Unicorns after the break.
Here for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Time for the bottom of the 5th inning, and when it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Please, as always, drink responsibly. Well, both starters are done in this game as Chris Kelly now takes over on the mound. The right-hander out of Westniak, New York. 24 years old, making his 7th appearance this year in the USPBL. One of those is a start. He's got a sub-1 ERA so far, a 0.79 in 11 1/3 innings, as some fans enjoying those umbrella tables.
Just another very tall pitcher for the Diamond Hoppers. I mean, I always joke that it's like a roller coaster. They have a height requirement to pitch for the Diamond Hoppers. And, yeah, 6'5", Kelly's listed at. And that can, whether batters admit it or not, that can be a little intimidating at times. It feels like the ball's 4 feet, 5 feet closer when he releases it compared to just someone who's 6 foot or 6'1".
And having a guy who's that tall, it works similar to a golf swing. Some of the guys who hit the ball the furthest in golf are not necessarily the strongest or biggest, with the muscles, but they have the longest arms, that long wingspan.
They can get the whip on
that whip, that slingshot action with the pitch, which allows a little bit of velo to come behind it. And Kelly has done everything right since he's gotten here to the USPBL. We mentioned 1 earned run in his last 11-plus innings. He's only walked 2 batters. He struck out 11, and opponents are hitting 171 against him.
You know what? And he gets to, face the middle of the order. Welcome into the game. Here's 3, 4, 5.
It's Baker, Bisharat, and Gomez. As Baker takes ball 1. This one's out to right and hangs up just enough for Schellenbarger to scoot under it. Hard hit from Baker. Gave it a good swing, but that's the first out.
Feels like the Unicorns have had some rotten luck. They've had 3 or 4 hard hit balls that have just kind of gone right at guys.
So the final line for starter James Cole goes 4 innings, 3 runs on 5 hits. Only 2 of those are earned, though, on our unofficial throwing error from the Hoppers.
And I think there's a lot to work with Cole. Needs to settle in, needs some things to be fine-tuned. Obviously, the 3 walks in 4 innings is something that you can work on yourself, but there were some moments you go, okay, give him a little bit of time to marinate, give him a little bit of time to figure it out. I think he'll be a pretty nice pitcher for Ryan Kotke and crew.
Tip on the swing from Bisharat. They say it was caught by Porter. I thought that hit the ground first. Bisharat's going to argue the call. He's not going to get it, as he and Porter share a couple friendly, competitive words after that. And
I think he got it.
A lot of dirt kicked up.
But it looked like he just turned his glove over and it hit the tip, like he snow coned it face down, and it kicked all the dust up from there.
Brady and I watching the Facebook replay up here in the booth as Gomez takes strike 1.
That's really nice reaction time from Porter. I think he got that. Or he sold it really, really well.
On the ground is short. And Burke dropped it for a second. Did he get back to the bag in time? He did. Oh, boy. That should have been a textbook, tailor-made 6-3 ground out, but it's almost an infield single for Justin Gomez. Instead, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Kelly, and the Hoppers are out of it in the 5th. We'll head to the 6th here on the USPBL Network.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that I know that there's a bright side to that.
Select Specialty Hospital is in the house. Receive Detroit Parent Club. Welcome, baseball buddies and welcome to UMM from Greater Detroit. Welcome, best life is open.
Top of the 6th on Jimmy Buffett night here from Jimmy John's Field. The sun starting to peek through a little bit over on that third base side as Scott Matthews making his professional debut. Carsey Walker got the start for the Unicorns, and Jacob Harsany came in the 5th to make his debut. And now it's Matthews' turn to face the Diamond Hoppers. They'll face the top of the order, Pup, Acevedo, and Flores.
And there's already action in that Unicorn bullpen. It might be, hey, you each get 1 inning. And I've seen the Unicorns do this before where they go, 6th is yours. If you need 8 pitches to get out of it or you need 28 pitches to get out of it, it's yours. And unless it really unwinds, you're going to stay out there and you're going to sink or swim.
And for Matthews, it's 5 pitches, 4-seam, 2-seam, curveball, slider, changeup. Pretty standard mix. There is ball 2 to Pup, and you saw a pump fake from Gomez, who thought they got the first strike. I thought they did too.
Maybe a hair outside.
That one more than a hair. 3 balls, no strikes. Pup was batting in the bottom of the fifth, or excuse me, the top of the fifth, but as the last batter before Maddox was picked off, so he starts the sixth here, 3-0. Taking all the way, and they do get a strike on the fastball. Matthews from University of South Carolina, Beaufort, as Pup takes ball 4. And there's the bullpen that's busy. Garrett Bonnet over there. Connor Tomasic, who's on the IR right now with an elbow injury.
Matthews has a very, I don't want to say nonchalant, but it doesn't look like he's trying, and he just flicks that ball in there. I guess, I don't know, I guess nonchalant's the best word.
He doesn't get low and he doesn't drive towards home plate like some of the other guys that we've seen. Yeah.
I guess that would be the best way. I mean, you see guys that looks like every pitch, they're putting every ounce of energy, and Matthews at times almost just looks like he's just throwing to his kid in the backyard, just getting out on the mound and throwing. Looks very easy for him.
Acevedo waiting on the 1-1. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks tonight. And Pup gets worked back to first base. Not a huge base stealing threat, but does have some speed and will occasionally run. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases this year.
With that first disengagement coming in from college, I wonder if guys like Matthews are going to have to take that out of their arsenal, the I'm thinking of you throw over.
Acevedo gets out of the way of that wild one, and Pup is able to head over to second. And that's what Matthews self-described himself as on the mound, is effective wildness. A lot of strikeouts, but a lot of walks, too, in his 3 seasons at USCB. Over 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, but 6 walks per 9 innings is a high number as well.
You know, a lot of managers will say they can get themselves into trouble, but they can get themselves out of it, too.
2-1. Out to right, softly hit, way deep was Major, and that's going to drop. Pup goes over to third. It's runners on the corners on the first base hit professionally for Luis Acevedo. Now the Hoppers have a little something brewing here in the 6th. Boy, Major was way deep. He was a few steps in front of the warning track over there and right.
Well, again, the ball's been carrying all night. So I don't blame anyone for playing deep. It's the 2-hitter. Even if you're playing normal depth, I don't know if you get to that ball. That was just one of those where you couldn't throw it in any better.
Pup at third, Acevedo at first, Flores at the dish. And that one almost hit him. Flores barely able to get out of the way. Matthews, all in all, resulted in an almost 10 ERA this last year in 30-plus innings. 27 walks and 27 strikeouts. A lot of everything. The 1-0. Got him with the high cheese for strike 1.
Flores a little anxious. He can smell the RBI 90 feet away. Chased one up high. Trying to elevate. Saw a pitch that he thought he might be able to get under. He's got to be a little more patient than that, especially with a guy that has struggled to throw strikes, and he's been missing up and into righties a lot.
That one cutting it close, up and in again.
When a pitcher misses in the same spot consistently, that usually means there's something off with his mechanics. That if you're missing in the same spot, whether, hey, you're letting your glove fall out, your landing spot's off, or you're just not, the timing's different, the high and in missing, and again up there, tells me that there's something that if you just tweak it a little bit, you can get the results you want.
We don't have the advanced numbers on it, but it would appear that Matthews has that spinny fastball that we talked about one of our recent broadcasts last weekend. It's the 3-1. High, and that's ball 4 to load the bases. Big 6th inning here for the Hoppers. They trail by 3 runs, but they've got 3 runners on and nobody out for the cleanup man, Joe Burke. And this will coax a mound visit out of Jim Essien.
While that mound visit goes on, looks like Matt Colucci will head out to the bullpen, as that'll do it for Matthews.
So Matthews is unable to record an out. Walks 2, gives up a single, and that brings in Garrett Bonnet. for the Unicorns. So, while Bonnet gets ready on the mound, we'll step aside. Top of the 6th, Hoppers threatening. They trail by 3, but they've got 3 runners on. We'll be back after this on the USPBL Network.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other your whole life, and both tear the exact same things in the exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that you know that there's a bright side of it.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Garrett Bonnet gets the call in a big spot. Bases loaded jam. Nobody's out here in the top of the 6th. The Hoppers trying to get above the 500 mark. As they sit at 6-6 on the year. They've been trailing all game. It started with Carsey Walker, who was lights out through 4 innings. Then Harsany came on in his professional debut and got a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. Scott Matthews got the call here in the 6th, and he was unable to record an out. 2 walks and a base hit puts us where we are now for Joe Burke, who is 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch swinging at the high fastball, and that's strike 1.
Bonnet coming at you with just 3 pitches. Fastball, slider, splitter. Goes straight, goes across, drops straight down.
A good mix for Bonnet, and that one gets another swing and a miss from Burke. Struck out in the 4th. He had a single in the 1st. Bonnet, the right-hander, Ohio Valley, and then another LSU Shreveport. We mentioned teammates with Ryan Major, the right fielder. That one's low for ball 1. A 4.05 ERA for Garrett in his 6 2/3 innings so far this year. All appearances in relief. Burke waiting on the 1-2. Chop to short. This could be 2. Curiel goes to second for 1. They got him there, but they don't have a chance to transfer and go to first. So Burke is safe. A run scores, and the Hoppers are on the board. It's 3-1.
And that's a good job by Joe Burke understanding the situation. A strikeout is the worst case scenario. Heck, even if they do turn the double play, then you still get a run in, and you're trying to slowly chip your way back in. You shorten up, you put the ball in play, you make it tough on Curiel, and now you break the goose egg, and you have a good hitter in Schellenbarger coming up.
So the put out on the fielder's choice goes 6-4. That brings Schellenbarger to the dish as he swings and misses at strike 1. Burke's over there at first. That's Acevedo on the corner at third.
Now Schellenbarger, he took a big hack at the first pitch. His job, get the runner home from third. He can't afford to put it on the ground, middle infield, and double play depth. Gets the Unicorns out of the jam.
The 1-1. Smoked on the ground, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bonnet has been relatively wild in his first couple innings here in the league. Double the walks to strikeouts, 10-5. Opponents hitting .260 against him before tonight. 1-2 inside. He called that strike 3. Wow, you saw Schellenbarger getting out of the way. He's down on K's, doesn't like the call.
Yeah, Schellenbarger, I think it shocked everyone.
Boy, that is just... Brady and I looking at the replay. I'll tell you what, folks, that is ball 2.
Try to give the positive spin to zone. Gomez did a nice job selling it.
2 outs for Chris O'Neill now. Swing and a miss. And that's a big call because now it's runners on the corners with 2 down, and Bonnet's that much closer to getting out of this jam.
Right. Now it takes a base hit to score Acevedo from third.
O'Neill takes a ball high. Swing and a miss. Inside fastball got him for strike 2. Chris O'Neill, 286 before tonight. An OPS above 800. Pretty good early numbers for him. The designated hitter for the Hoppers tonight.
Oh,
that one's ball 2. So what are we doing?
That looked like a pretty darn good pitch.
Now it's 2-2. So, Hoppers get one back maybe. And outside, strike 3. Same pitch as before. O'Neill can't understand it. Bonnet smart to go back to it. That's back-to-back looking strikeouts to end the inning. The Hoppers get one. They should have had more, but that's it. It's 3-1 on the USPBL Network.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well-earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Really good crowd here at Jimmy John's Field on a thirsty Thursday night. Jimmy Buffett night here in downtown Utica. Chris Kelly coming out for his second inning of work.
After breaking the shutout, it's always important to get that goose egg in the next inning. You finally broke through. You finally got a run back. Now, don't give it right back to them. Important you get a quiet inning here.
It's a 3-1 ball game. The Hoppers only get one run in the top half of the 6th after having bases loaded with nobody out. The Unicorns made a pitching change. Bonnet came in. He was able to get a fielder's choice and back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Bonnet only faced 3 batters last inning. Same thing did Kelly. The 3 he'll face minimum here in the 6th. Major, Pastor, and Norgren, the 6, 7, 8 hitters. First pitch, Major thought about it. Was a strike anyways. Off speed for strike 1. Over the mound, second base. Acevedo on the backhand. A nice throw as well. Major quickly running, but they beat him by about half a step. Good play by the rookie.
That's the first time we really got to see Acevedo field, and pretty smooth. Pretty darn smooth.
Oh, no. I know a lot of you listening are not local to the state of Michigan, but tonight's a big night for us who are from here because the Detroit Pistons just made, I'm gonna say it, Brady, a terrible decision in the NBA draft. They just took one of the Thompson twins, Asar Thompson, regarded by many to be the lesser of the two twins, with the 5th pick in the NBA draft as Pastor grounds out to Burke over there at first base. And Brady, I don't know about you, but I'm livid. That's a horrible pick.
We'll see. We'll see. But I'll tell you what's not been horrible, Chris Kelly on the mound right here in the 6th.
Quickly,
how about that for a transition?
Quickly, 2 outs. He's only faced 5 batters, and they've all gone down. Norgren trying to buck that trend here as he takes ball 1.
Kelly's been doing exactly what they've needed him to do. Quick, quiet outs in the 6th. Chance to chip away in the final third of the game.
Swing and a miss for Norgren. He wanted that one. Singleton scored in the 4th. Popped out in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. Behind 1 and 2 in this at-bat. Kelly trying to go 3 up, 3 down for the 2nd inning in a row. And has a chance to do that. Burke on the backhand. Underhand flip. Kelly's there. Beats Norgren to the bag. And again, a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Kelly and the Hoppers when they needed most, trying to battle back here in this game. Down by 2 runs. They're batting on the other side of the break here in the USPBL Network.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
There are things you can rely on in this world, like your dog being happy to see you, coffee getting you through the day, and the government changing business regulations. And when it comes to navigating those regulations, you can rely on Tryon and its team of attorneys. Tryon can also tackle time-consuming HR tasks like payroll and employee benefits, so you can stay focused on growing your business. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
That dugout trying to add to their run total, down 3-1. They got one to scratch across last inning. It'll be Califoot, Maddox, and Porter, 7, 8, 9 hitters, barring any substitutions here in the top of the 7th against the Unicorns.
Garrett Bonnet earned his 2nd inning. I really liked what he did. Came in a tough spot, and really, for inheriting a bases-loaded no-out jam, 1 run, that's a win for Garrett Bonnet in the Unicorns last inning.
Absolutely. And it could have even been less than that. They almost got Burke to ground into a double play. But instead it was a fielder's choice on the ground out on a run scored, and then back-to-back strikeouts to Schellenbarger and O'Neill ended the inning. Califoot's 1 for 2 in his debut. Joey Califoot, a member of the Polish national team. Went over there back in 2015. His mom's a Polish citizen, so he went over there in 2015 and got his citizenship. I asked him, here in America, you got to take a test and pass. It's similar to the stuff we learn as kids in history class. And he said, no, you just had to sign you didn't have to take a test. You just had to sign a couple papers.
Well, I know it's a little different when one of your parents is from there. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on citizenship across the world, but usually it's easier when you have that blood in you, that Polish blood. But not too far away, Hamtramck produced a lot of really good Polish baseball players, especially in the middle of the 20th century. There were some big-time major league players that came out of Hamtramck.
A lot of very good Polish restaurants produced in Hamtramck as well.
That too. For those not native to Michigan, Hamtramck, it's basically an enclave of Detroit?
Yeah. As Califoot grounds it to first, Mishrat will keep it himself. Gonna bring up Maddox. Strikeout and hit by pitch so far tonight. Balls and a strike on Maddox. Just outside. You see Mike Rice, assistant manager for the Hoppers.
And congratulations are in order to him. He just ended a very nice 7-year run with his high school program at Marine City Cardinal Mooney. Made it to the state finals back in 2021, but wants to go all in with professional ball. And he's done a very nice job with the Diamond Hoppers. And it's, well, congratulations to him. I have to thank him. He was kind of my in here, and he's done a nice job both with them and here at the USPBL.
Grounded to third under the glove of Baggett. Took a weird hop and just ate him up. That should be a base hit. That's a tough play for Baggett to make, and Maddox is on board. One thing I always love about Mike Rice, the shoes.
He does have really good
Mad
shoe
respect
game.
for the shoe. You see him there, the Jordan, Jordan ones, the orange ones for the Hoppers.
Yeah, the orange and
Man,
white.
he had some blue ones on the other day, too. I'm jealous.
So now
I got to find out who his shoe guy is.
He might be mad I'll tell this story, but I don't care. So Mike Rice is not the most vertically inclined individual. And a lot of these players are. Like, we always joke about how big they are. Now, if you ever look during the national anthem when you're at the USPBL game, Mike Rice makes sure he stands next to 5'10" Alex Pup and 5'10" Chandler Dunn. He says, no, your spot's right next to me, so he's not standing next to someone a foot taller than him.
Porter, the 2-0, popped it up, and he's upset with himself there. Baggett's under it. He'll make this play.
Threw the bat farther than the ball went.
Yeah, he launched that thing over on the right side. Good thing we got plenty of foul ground here at Jimmy John's Field.
But I get it. You think you had a pitch to hit and you miss it, you get underneath of it. You don't get many pitches you like during the course of a game. So you get one belt high on the outer part of the plate and you pop it up. I get the frustration.
Pup for the fourth time tonight. 0 for 2 with a walk. Take strike one. How about Bonnet? He has really reined it in from where he started his last couple outings. We mentioned 10 walks to 5 strikeouts before tonight. 2 Ks, no free passes yet, and this is the 7th batter he's faced. He'll step off here.
And even the one hit he did give up wasn't a hard hit ball up the middle. It was one that was a tough play for Baggett, went under his glove. Hey, sometimes it happens.
Back pick to first, and Maddox is back there in time. Maddox has already been picked off once tonight. You can see that little side eye from him at the bag. He was picked off back in the 5th.
Yeah, getting picked off once, hey, you get back. You don't like it, but it happened. You get picked off twice in a game, you're keeping your head down as you go into that dugout. You may be avoiding the manager for an inning or two.
Pup waiting on the 2-1. Hoppers waiting on some offense. Hasn't been much tonight. 1 run in the 6th. And that's all they've had so far. 2-2. Our home run prediction is in danger here.
I know. It's been a low-scoring game, and there have been some hit in the air, too.
That one's in the air. Is that going to get out of play? Gomez discards the mask, gets back, and it does eventually get all the way over to the grandstands.
You know what? Let's give a little bit of credit to the pitching. haven't been giving up long fly balls. We've had maybe 3 or 4 all night long, and most of them have been outs outside of the one double to right center field. Now, Lucas Gooden has the only really deep fly ball base hit.
Yeah. Just has not been a lot of hard contact tonight. The 2-2. That one's hard hit to left. That one's deep. Back to the warning track. Jumping up. He hits the wall. It's gone. Alex Pup ties the game here in the 7th.
Ask and ye shall receive. Right on cue, Alex Pup. How about that? Bonnet had been on cruise control, got one up in the jet stream. That's a pretty clutch time to tie it up as we enter the late innings.
Pup, his first home run of the year, and it's a big one. Ties this game at 3 in the top of the 7th with 2 outs nonetheless.
And that was just a mistake from Garrett Bonnet. It was a fastball, inner part of the plate, and Pup did not miss it.
Acevedo takes a ball high, and this is really cheap, but Pup last year, 1 home run, came later in the year, all contact, almost no power, a gap-to-gap kind of guy, would always get you a base hit. That's why he always hit at the top of the order. But I was thinking, I swear to, and I kid you not, I said this is cheap, and it is, but I kid you not, I thought, wouldn't now be a good time for Pup to get his first home run of the year? And I almost said it. I almost did, but I didn't want to jinx him, and I mentally jinxed him, and he hit it.
Well, I'm glad that just after you said our home run prediction wasn't looking great, he puts one over the fence.
Now everybody at home knows that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, sometimes. Broken clock right twice a day or something like that.
Acevedo sitting on 3 balls, no strikes. And he does take strike 1. Started rough, 2 strikeouts to Carsey Walker, then got his first pro hit last inning, looking to add to that here in the 7th.
Doesn't it feel like the Unicorns on their heels a little bit? That they got the lead, now they're almost spinning their tires?
3-1. This one's softly to center, backing up his Pastor. And they do get the 3rd out, but not before Alex Pup brings the fireworks on a Thursday night. It's 3-3. Bottom half of the 7th after this on the USPBL Network. Thanks to that man, it is 3-3 here at Jimmy John's Field in the late stages of this game.
He's feeling pretty good about himself, isn't he? He can't keep that smile off his face.
Pup with his first home run of the year. He had just 1 last year, so right now on pace to surpass that total. And it comes at the biggest time when the Hoppers just really need some offense, man. This is a good hitting team. They have good hitters. They have a good hitter on the injured reserve right now in Noah Marcoux, but it just hasn't been put together. They've got the slugging numbers. They've got the extra base hits, but just the overall batting average. They're just not getting base hits.
And that's kind of the new age argument the last decade or so of you go for power, and I think the Diamond Hoppers can be a good example of that. The average is low, but when you look at some of the power numbers, slugging, they're closer to where you want to be. And, well, last innings, why? You get a guy on, and then you hit the home run. to get 2 runs, you probably need 3-4 singles where you get one on, Pup gets a hold of one, puts it in the jet stream out to left, tied it up, just with not too much action on the base pass. Kind of seemed like it happened just like that.
Curiel takes strike 1 against Chris Kelly, who's still in there. He came in to start the bottom of the 5th, and he's faced 6 batters and retired 6 batters since then.
Well, the Diamond Hoppers have a game tomorrow, so they want to keep that bullpen as intact as they can. Although tomorrow Ryan Carolden gets the start, and he has been sensational since being signed early on.
Curiel sharply foul. Yeah, Carolden has been one of the best arms in the league. Yet to give up an earned run in 16 innings. He takes the mound tomorrow for the Hoppers. Curiel waiting on the 1-2. That is through the gap in right center field, just over the second baseman's head, Luis Acevedo. Throw back to first. Ooh, Curiel rounded the base a little too much for the liking of Bryant Schellenbarger, and that was a pretty close throw, but he gets back safely.
I really liked what Curiel did. That was a breaking ball at the knees, waited for it to get to him. Hey, took it the other way. Sometimes you get that breaking ball and guys get pull happy. They want to put it down the line, put it over the fence. Didn't try to do too much, took it the other way, hit it hard, barreled it up, and get the leadoff man on the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 7th. Good job by Curiel.
Curiel's first hit of the night, first hit that Chris Kelly has given up since taking over in the 5th. It was 2 runs in the 2nd for the Unicorns, those on a Nick Pastor base hit and a throwing error from the Hoppers. Then they added another run in the 4th as Lucas Gooden hit probably one of the best balls we had seen before last half inning to the gap in right center, scoring Cam Norgren. It had been nothing for the Hoppers until the 6th, when they only got 1 run to score after having the bases loaded with nobody out. Pup scored on a ground ball fielder's choice from Joe Burke. And then it was Pup last inning. The deep home run to left field, a 2-run shot to tie the game at 3. That puts us where we are now as Gooden waits on the 2-1. Under the zone, 3 balls and only 1 strike.
Kelly trying to work low at the knees, gets something that Gooden pounds into the dirt, try to get that 2-ball to negate the leadoff single.
Kelly does have that sinker. Going on the pitch, it's on the ground. Acevedo scoops it up and will only throw over to first as Curiel. Perfect timing by the Unicorns and by Donovan over there at first. Running on the pitch, no chance to get him at second base. Runner in scoring position and 1 out for the top of the order.
Whether Jim Essien put that on or that was from Curiel's own accord, I really like that idea. Hey, it's a 3-1 pitch. If it's in the zone, Gooden's probably swinging at it. Put yourself in motion. Take that double play away. So, yeah, you roll over one to the right side. He moves up to second. He misses, he walks. You get there, and Curiel's quick enough. Even if he did swing and miss, still a decent chance you get there because that catcher has to take that extra half a beat for the swing and the miss to just catch and gather himself just a millisecond, but enough that can make a difference on a steal of second.
Baggett batting for the 4th time tonight, 0 for 3. A couple hard outs, a line out to third, a fly out to center. And being process-based instead of results-based, if you're Chris Kelly, you got what you wanted. Taylor-made ground ball to second base that should have turned 2 had Curiel not been running. Baggett waves at the off-speed.
It's a gutsy 2-0 pitch. You have to really trust your off-speed to bring it 2-0.
That was the knuckle curve from Kelly. Sinker, knuckle curve, and changeup, an unorthodox 3-pitch mix. And there's another one for strike 2.
I think we talked about it off the air. There's a lot of different pitches, but essentially they all do the same half a dozen things. There's just different means to get to the same end.
Smoked out to center. Going back is Flores. Just in front of the warning track, he'll make the grab. Tagging for third is Curiel. That one kind of died up in the air. It was hard hit off the bat.
And back to the pitches, some guys will just call their same pitch something different. You'll get some guys, they'll call it a sinker. Some guys will say it's my two-seam. Or the biggest one I've noticed, hey, it's a cutter, or no, it's a slider. They all do the same thing, and that's why I like guys that can mix up the direction of the movement, have one that drops, have one that cuts across, have one that goes straight or has a little bit of tail to it.
Ryan Kotke wants to talk over this big spot with his pitcher Chris Kelly and the rest of the infield. Curiel's over at third, Baker at the dish. He's already singled once tonight, 1 for 3. So just a quick conversation. The infield's ready, so is Kelly. Righty on lefty matchup against Baker.
And the conversation might simply be, hey, you don't have to throw him a strike. You have first and second open. I know you have Bisharat and Gomez behind, and it doesn't necessarily get easier, but, hey, this is our plan of attack. A walk is not the worst case scenario here.
Baker, that one skips. Porter couldn't find it. Curiel got caught in the middle. Throw back to third, and now he's in a pickle. Running him down is Maddox. He applies the tag, and Curiel is out. The Hoppers fortunate there.
Did he drop the ball?
I believe Curiel is officially called out. He is. It looked like Maddox might have dropped the ball.
The ball popped out.
Away.
That's what Jim Essian's saying.
There you see Essian talking it over now.
I mean, we have the benefit of replay up in the booth, but it sure looked like that ball popped out. And I think Jim Essian does have a beat. The one umpire might have been blocked off, but it definitely rolled out.
Our two umpires are still discussing this. It doesn't seem like they've landed on a firm answer. If the call stands, the Hoppers are out of the inning and out of any trouble of falling back in this game. And we'll head to the top of the 8th. It's hard to tell. The tag is applied, but it's on the turnover because Maddox was diving. As he lands and turns over, that's when you see the ball come out.
Yeah, we have the benefit of replay, and it's, I guess, to use a football analogy, did he complete the process of the tag? That's kind of what it feels like. But, yeah, he tags, rolls over, and then the ball rolls out.
And so Gomez, who was waiting for word from the umpires, now heads behind the plate as Nick Caruso and Jim Essian will get the word from our umpires. That leads me to believe the call is going to stand, and it'll be the top of the 8th as the Hoppers will face Matt Colucci. And that is going to be the call as Colucci will now warm up. We'll step aside for a quick break here on the USPBL Network. Top of the 8th, tied at 3. Here from Jimmy John's Field when we return.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Anthony Flores perhaps happy to be batting right now, maybe feeling a little bit lucky as Curiel got caught in the middle after what looked like a wild pitch from Chris Kelly last inning. Curiel was on third, Porter catching. The pitch squirted straight up. Porter had no idea where it was until it landed right next to him, and Curiel was caught dead in the middle between third base and a home plate, tried to retreat back to third. As he went there, the throw was to Maddox. Maddox caught it, dove to tag Curiel. As he landed after applying the tag, the ball squirted out. We thought up here there was a chance they overturned the original out call that ended the inning. The umpires discussed it for about 2 minutes. They decided they were going to stick with the call. Now that leads us to the top of the 8th, tied at 3.
Well, I guess it brings up the question in, the baseball rule book is so deep and complex. When is the tag completed? Because it looked like he tagged him, but on his way down it popped out. So he tagged him cleanly and the ground caused it to pop out. How long do you have to control it after the tag? Is it, hey, it's still in the glove? As long as the tag didn't pop it out, you're good? Because if that's the case, then I believe that's the right call. But if not, it popped out as the ground, and I jokingly said complete the process of the tag. I guess we'd have to ask someone that knows a little bit more about the rules than we do.
I think he was out.
Right.
I think the ball squirting away doesn't – I think he still applied the tag and held it long enough, and that Curiel was caught in a bad spot anyways and shouldn't have been there in the first place.
That's the moment that if you're the Unicorns, you're not you can't complain.
You can't be too upset.
The teaching moment is – well, why were we in that spot to begin with?
Right. And what it was Curiel, he had the good perspective. He could see that the ball popped straight up and Porter had no idea where it was. He just hesitated in getting to home plate and making his break for the plate. By the time he did, he was halfway there, and then Porter had the ball right next to him. Luckily for the Hoppers, after where it landed, he was just right at home plate.
Right. And I think it's a little different if perhaps Curiel not knowing just on the backswing of the arm or he dives in the foot, hits the ball out, then it's probably a safe call. But looking back at it again, I do think they eventually got it right.
Broken bat over the middle, charging bare hand Curiel, throw to first. Did they get him? Nice play. Donovan Curiel robbing Flores of a broken bat single to retire the first batter.
Didn't take the base running mistake into the field with him. That's a pretty smooth play that I thought the broken bat was going to give him one last hit, but that's a heck of a play from Curiel charging on the bare hand.
This is Matt Colucci on the mound taking over for Garrett Bonnet, who almost had a perfect 2 innings when he came on to start the 6th. He retired the first 3 in order, got out of a bases-loaded jam with only giving up 1 run, struck out 2. Then last inning got the leadoff out to Joey Califoot before Maddox singled and got on, and then he would score from the Alex Pup homer. Burke to second base, and that's an easy 4-3 ground out as Norgren is able to make the play.
And I have a feeling knowing Brian Schellenbarger, with nobody on and 2 away, I think he's going to try to uncork one at least in the first 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 swings, I should say.
He is a hard swinging right fielder batting from the left side. It's been a good year for Schellenbarger this year. He never really, I think, reached his potential statistically last season in the USPBL, a guy who really can be a hard-hitting slugger. Batting .263 before tonight with a .500 slug. Does have a long ball and 5 RBIs already this season.
This is a spot where you can come up and you're not trying to think about poking a single through. Be your own rally.
He's 1 for 3 with the single tonight. Also a strikeout. Three runs on 7 hits and 1 error for the Hoppers. 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors for the Unicorns. We're here in the top of the 8th. Unicorns led from the 2nd inning on. That was until the 7th when the Hoppers tied it on a 2-run home run. Schellenbarger hard on the ground, diving off a couple infielders. It squirts away, and he'll easily get to first base. Thought about running to second, but Curiel quickly got it. There was nobody covering the bag for a moment. It goes off of Bisharat and then Norgren.
That's a tough play to read in real time. The 2 away with the shortstop, Curiel going out there. It took the third baseman Baggett running all the way out there. With 2 away, nobody on. Maybe you try to get yourself in a scoring position, but I get error on the side of caution.
First pitch to O'Neill. Nice snag by Gomez behind the dish for ball 1. 1-0. Check swing. Did he go? Home plate umpire says he did. Colucci on in relief in this inning, 23-year-old out of New York. 4 pitches, 2-seam fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. The 1-1 under the zone. That's a bit of an interesting mix. Don't often see 2-seam and cutter in the same arsenal.
Again, if you replace 2-seam with maybe sinker, or you get the 2-seam run the other way, then it's, hey, one goes a little to the left, one goes a little to the right.
Fouled back by O'Neill, who's 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and he did ground into a double play in the 4th. Colucci comes from sunny Brockport, sunny being State University of New York. There's about, I think, 8 or 9 of those in New York State. 2-2, swing and a miss. Colucci got him swinging. His first strikeout. That's the 3rd out of the inning. Unicorns batting in the home half of the 5th. Tied at 3 when we return.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
At Ascension, Michigan.
Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union Soundstage on Jimmy Buffett night. Been a good night. Been a good night for baseball on Thursday here at Jimmy John's Field. It's 3-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th. And the middle of the order due up for the Unicorns. Baker, Bisharat, Gomez, 3-4-5, barring any substitutions. It is still Chris Kelly on the mound. He came on in the 5th and is still out there as he'll get the call to start the 8th. There's stirring in the Hoppers bullpen, but I wouldn't say anybody is officially warming up yet. And Kelly, understandably, will likely get this 8th inning because he's been so good. He's faced the minimum in every inning. He's only given up 1 base hit, and that was to Donovan Curiel last inning.
And maybe have someone ready for the 9th and possibly, if we get there, the sudden death extra half inning.
Always a fun time when we get the extras. Baker batting, swings and misses through strike 1.
I don't think he was trying to poke that one the other way.
No, he was trying to poke that.
He was trying to hit the band.
River. Yeah. Baker batting from the left side. As always, on some of the more niche stats, we give the asterisk of a small sample size. But so far, Kelly has been better against left-handers than right-handers, minimally. In the air, right center. Ranging to his left is Schellenbarger. And that's the first out. Kelly now 2 for 15. Make it 17, actually, against lefties when you add in the at-bats tonight. Came in 5 for 28 against righties. That's 180. Brings up Bisharat, batting for the 4th time tonight. Walked in the 3rd. Struck out and grounded out the other 2. Strike 2 on Bisharat.
How about 2 off speeds to get it started? Both right at the knees. That's tough for Bisharat to do anything with. Now you can go with anything really on 0-2.
Swing and a miss. Got him down in the dirt. 75-mile-an-hour changeup for Chris Kelly, and Bisharat is down on 3 pitches. That's the second out.
That was a really nice sequence. At the knees, and it looked like they had Bisharat, his head in knots a little bit. He's probably thinking, all right, he slowed me down, he's going to speed me up. Sitting fastball, and then the curveball fell right off the table. That's a heck of a sequence from Chris Kelly.
Gomez, the catcher, batting from the left side. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. That strikeout to Bisharat was the second for Kelly. In the 11 batters he's faced, Gomez being the 12th, and he's a little wild on the first 2. 2 balls, no strikes. And 3-0. Boy, where did this come from? Kelly's been so good since taking over in the 5th.
Maybe he just didn't want to give anything to hit to Gomez.
This is just his second 3-ball count. And he does feed in a strike.
And if you're Gomez, you're looking for home run number 1 right now, aren't you? Nobody on, 2 away. You're in a hitter's count. Don't hold anything back.
Gomez hasn't typically shown a lot of power at the professional level. Only 3 home runs in his 2 minor league seasons with the Cincinnati Reds. Had 32 games in the Frontier League last year and had none, and now he's not going to get one here as he's down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Chris Kelly. We head to the 9th, tied at 3 here on the USPBL Network.
At Ascension, Michigan, we're committed to being your first choice for healthcare. Our nationally recognized heart program is the leader throughout Michigan in minimally invasive heart valve procedures. For joint replacement, spine, and cancer care, patients choose our specialists for advanced care and treatment. And we also excel in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's. Okay. The you want to be. Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Those are the suites up above us as we're perched nice and low behind home plate. The suites here at Jimmy John's Field on Jimmy Buffett night. Hoppers and Unicorns tied at 3 as we're in the top of the 9th inning, and Jace Bauman, the league leader in saves, gets the call from Jim Essien out of the bullpen. He'll face Caliphate, Maddox, and Porter here in the 9th, tied at 3 apiece. We talk about the team ERA for the Unicorns. Coming into tonight, it was 2.86, far and away the best in the league. The leader on the team in ERA is Jace Bauman, as he's given up 2 earned runs in his 9 innings. 4 walks and 5 strikeouts and 4 saves so far this year.
And he's going to be looking to continue that here in the 9th. Get the bottom part of the order. But I have a sneaking suspicion if it does need to go to the extra frame, that Bauman will get the nod for that as well.
Bauman, 5 pitches in his arsenal. Both fastballs, 4 and 2 seam. Changeup, curveball, slider. Pretty standard stuff for the 24-year-old out of Mazzini, Wisconsin. First pitch to Califoot. Takes strike one. Our debut players have been pretty good tonight. Both Califoot and Acevedo on the Hoppers were able to get their first pro hit out of the way in this game. Califoot's came in his first at bat back in the second. A couple ground outs since then. He's behind 0-2.
Just want to get on any way you can here in the ninth. Just put some pressure on Bauman.
Inside as it skips past Gomez, and Califoot's fought back in it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Only 9 at-bats for Bauman against left-handers this year. 2 of them have resulted in hits. Righty's hitting just 174 against Jace. The 2-2 on the ground to third. Tough hop for Baggett, but he's able to field it cleanly and throw over to first. That's a sneaky, nice play by the third baseman, Patrick Baggett, over there. As that jumped up kind of towards his chest right before fielding it.
Yeah, took a tough hop, but made it look smoother than maybe it really was. And that's why the Unicorns have such a good team ERA, because they don't let a lot of those little mistakes go by.
Fielding percent as well, which is really the only judge we have of defense in the league. And it's not a great number. There's really no good way, even in modern baseball.
That's
with all
more
the
eye
advanced
test
stats.
than anything.
Yeah, there's really no good way statistically to judge a defense. Baseball Reference and Baseball Savant have defensive runs saved. That's a subjective stat as well. There's defensive WAR, which is relatively subjective. So the best we have here in the USPBL is fielding percentage. The Unicorns do lead the league in that at 98%. All the other teams are pretty close, right in the mid-97s, except for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who are down at 95. Maddox takes the 3-0 right down the middle as Bauman's able to find a strike. (3-1) is fouled back. Now a full count for Maddox, who's had a pretty good night, both offensively and defensively. He's been solid at third base on a couple plays. Singled and scored on the Alex Pup home run his last time up. He's reached twice tonight. The other was a hit by pitch in the 5th.
If you can get someone on, that does turn the lineup over, and you would get to see Alex Pup in the 9th.
3-2 is high, and Maddox will take the walk. And that is the kryptonite for 9th inning comebacks is free passes, and the Hoppers get themselves one with the top of the order waiting in the wings, and Taj Porter being the 9-hole hitter is not all that bad either.
No. He's got a lot of pop for a 9-hole hitter.
Already a home run this season, a slugging percentage early this year of .360 to go along with his .200 batting average. That's all before tonight, in which he's 0 for 3. Switch hitter batting left.
He's not your prototypical 9-hitter where it's another table setter. He's a guy that can find a gap. Could untie this game with one swing.
And he's in a good count to do so. 2 balls, no strikes. Porter hasn't seen a 2-ball count yet tonight. He's been diced up on 3 pitches twice. The other pop-out he had was on 2 pitches. The 2-0. Out to center, pretty well struck. Going back past Storr, that's over his head and down. That takes a big hop, which is unfortunate for the Hoppers. A ground rule double. It was almost a guaranteed RBI, as Maddox would have scored. But on the ground rule double, he goes to third, and there's a big double from Porter in the 9th.
Yeah, that's a bad break. I'm pretty mad if I'm Taj Porter, because you're right. If that doesn't hit the netting out in left field, Maddox scores easily. He scores without a throw. That's a big break for the Unicorns in this one.
That brings out assistant manager Nick Caruso to talk it over with Bauman, as Pup, the top of the order, is due up, and Pup was obviously the hero back in the 7th with the game-tying home run The go-ahead run is 90 feet away with one out, and there's nobody at first, so no force out for the Unicorns. Caruso steps off. There's nothing in the Unicorns' bullpen, so this is Bauman's inning no matter what.
Well, only have the one away. No, usually in this league they'll let you swing away, but you just have to keep your eye out for any sort of shenanigans with the runner on third and one away.
They draw the infield in, especially the corners, Bisharat and Pastor. Bisharat's a foot onto the grass. Pastor's a foot behind it. The middle of the infield is drawn in as well.
Not quite as much, though. They're basically in the baseline.
Curiel is a step behind it with the base runner Porter being at second. Curiel, the shortstop, popped up right side. That'll get out of play as Bisharat just got a decent look at it. This is probably who you want up in a regular situation if you're Ryan Kotke. Alex Pup, maybe the best contact hitter in the Hoppers lineup, and has to be feeling good right now with the long ball today already.
Well, you feel like if you can get one past Bauman, you're going to at least test the throw to the plate with them not being super far in.
The 0-2 swing and a miss. Jace Bauman responds to the double from Porter with a much-needed and crucial strikeout. And that's the second out for Luis Acevedo. Welcome to the league, kid. Big spot. Chance to take the lead. 2 down in the top of the ninth.
See if he can make a name for himself. Night number 1. Give him the lead in the ninth.
Takes high for ball 1. Knight had a rough start for Acevedo. 2 strikeouts on 3 pitches in his first 2 at-bats. Since then, he's singled and flown out to deep center. 1-0 to the right side. That's over the glove of Norgren. 1 scores. Porter stops at third. He got the stop sign late from Ryan Kotke. The Hoppers have taken the lead thanks to the rookie Acevedo.
And I love the emotion you can see from Acevedo. Your professional debut, and you come through in the clutch, giving your team the lead in the ninth. Way to make your mark in your debut.
Just a soft single to right field. Norgren drawn in a little bit more than normal. They backed the infield up after getting the second out, but just unable to get there. And now it's runners on the corners, 2 down, and the Hoppers already have the lead.
Now if you're Flores, you can be kind of free swinging. You have the lead. You don't have to, the pressure's off. You know it's on your pitching staff in the ninth. Yeah, you'd love the insurance, but take a more relaxed approach.
But a pretty big spot to get your first RBI as a pro for Acevedo. Flores waiting on the 1-1, and Bauman's going to step off with 5 seconds left on the pitch clock. Porter over at third. He slipped as Kotke gave him the late stop sign as the ball was fielded by Major out there in right field, and that one's up and in on Flores, and he'll wear that one to load the bases.
Looked like it caught him in the forearm area. That's never the spot you'd want to get hit. Hey, you take one in the back, you take one in the thigh. Those are the meatier parts of your body where you have some cushion. That forearm, the hand, the wrist area, that's where it gets dangerous because it's basically hitting you straight on the bone. And that loads the bases with 2 away. If you're curious, the Unicorns send up 6, 7, 8 in their order in the bottom of the ninth.
Burke batting for the second time tonight with the bases loaded. The last time he grounded into a fielder's choice that scored a run. It was the first run of the game for the Hoppers. First pitch he takes on the outside edge for strike 1. The Hoppers as a team batting with the bases loaded this year. 111 coming into tonight, just 1 for 9. Burke hard on the ground, it'll get foul. Joe is 1 for 4. singled his first time up. Also has a strikeout. The 0-2. Hard on the ground again to third. That is a fair ball, and Baggett will step on the bag easily. No more for the Hoppers. They get one. Will it be enough? We'll get our verdict with the Unicorns batting in the bottom of the ninth. Here from Jimmy John's Field when we come back.
Rebuild. Roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers, our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are operating engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
The night sky over downtown Utica and over Jimmy John's Field as we're
that is
in the bottom of the ninth. That is beautiful.
That is Renaissance-esque.
Is that a painting? Is that what that is?
It looks like
Can we get
one.
a painting on our monitor up here in the booth? 4-3 Hoppers lead it as they just took the lead in the 8th inning. It's been a run in each of the last innings. In the 9th inning. In 3 of the last 4 innings for the Hoppers, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 1 in the 9th, 4 unanswered. As Brett Irwin now gets the call from the bullpen to try and get the save. He's already got one of those this year, looking to make this number 2 against the Unicorns. He'll face Major, Pastor, and Norgren, the 6, 7, 8 hitters. Irwin, 4 pitches. 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, changeup, and a slurve. He has been sensational with a capital S since joining the USPBL this year. 5 appearances, has given up a couple earned runs in his 4.1 innings. 2 to be exact, so that's a 4.15 ERA, but 0 walks and 7 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .250 against him. He's the only Hopper on the pitching staff yet to walk a batter.
Well, the good news if you're a Unicorn fan, it's been the bottom part of the order that's done the damage. 6 through 9 in the order has produced 4 of the 6 hits tonight, and they've been spread out evenly. Major with the hit, Pastor, Norgren, and Curiel all each with a single a pop.
Major is 1 for 3 in his professional debut. Also had a run scored. That was his first at bat in the 2nd inning.
How about that?
93
in on the hand. Oof. That got in on a hurry.
And we have heard from some of the players in the league and the coaches that this gun that shows up on the scoreboard is 3 miles an hour slow. So we can infer that is 96 from Irwin out of the bullpen. Tough to face here in the 9th. There's another 92-mile-an-hour fastball. All of them have missed, though. Credit to Major. 3 balls, no strikes, as Irwin is nibbling near the top, not able to get it down into the zone.
Don't even take the bat off your shoulder.
Finds a strike with the 2-seamer.
I know the take on 3-0 can be, well, at this point of the game, you have to take on 3-0. You don't want to ground out with a chance to get the tying run on.
The Unicorns certainly could win it with 1 swing without any base runners, but a base runner is certainly helpful, and one like Ryan Major will help as well. 64 for 78. He got caught 14 times in 3 years at LSU Shreveport. He stole 45 bases this past year.
That's a lot. That is a ton.
He's already going to be a distraction and wreak some havoc as Pastor takes a big hack at strike one.
Now the silver lining of going down in the count means you get an off-speed pitch, a good pitch to run on.
And it was an off-speed, 90, as Irwin liking that fastball.
I think I send him here. 0-2. You're probably getting something off-speed. You've seen 2 pitches. You've gotten the rhythm. Try to get yourself in scoring position.
Pastor swings and fouls it back. They tried to get him on the high fastball. And we talked about it last inning. What's the kryptonite in the 9th inning? Free passes. The walk to Maddox. He was the runner that came around to score. Well, even worse, a leadoff walk. A runner with nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. Exactly what the Unicorns want.
It's a pretty cautious lead over at first for Major. Maybe extending it a bit more.
0-2 inside. Pastor able to stay off of it. Pastor with a little bit of pop this year. No home runs. Still looking for his first RBI as well, but the slugging percentage leads the Unicorns at .364. Pretty low slugging numbers for the team so far. 1-2. Out into left, and that will hang up for Califoot and an easy first out. Have to credit Pastor with a good at-bat after falling behind 0-2 on some nice fastballs to at least see a few more pitches.
It's been, 9 pitches, all fastballs? Haven't seen anything off-speed from Irwin.
He has the changeup and the slurve in the back pocket. He's thrown both fastballs already, the 4 and the 2 seam. And there's an off-speed, way high. I believe that was the changeup at 82 on our gun. That's Major over at first. We haven't seen any movement or any dancing from a base-stealing threat. This one's fouled back.
You don't want to wait until you get into a too predictable spot to go, because then they're on high alert with 2 away.
Also, your own base runner can be distracting to your own hitter.
Right.
You want to get him out of the way early and just get at second and put your hitter in a good RBI spot. But Unicorns elect not to do that. Norgren fouls another one back. 91.
And another batter behind an account. This would be the time to do it. Off-speed count.
Curiel is on deck. Behind him is Gooden, should we get there. One down in the bottom of the 9th. The Unicorns trailing by a run. They relinquish their lead after 4 unanswered runs from the Hoppers starting in the 6th. Inside, and he hit him.
That's a tough one to swallow. You're ahead in the count 1-2. And you plunk a guy to put the tying run in scoring position.
He caught him with the slurve inside, and that puts Norgren at first and Major the tying run in scoring position.
And the winning run aboard. Looking for that 2 ball. End this game with 1 ball pounded into the dirt.
How about Curiel? Chance to redeem himself after the mistake in the 7th. He was 90 feet from home back when the game was tied with an opportunity to take the lead on a wild pitch, and some indecisiveness led to him getting caught in a rundown, and he was promptly tagged out by the third baseman for the Hoppers, Todd Maddox. That would have been the go-ahead run for the Unicorns, but he can bring in that run.
He was tagged out about 30 feet from home.
Or at least a tying run right here. 1-1.
It's a nice pitch, fastball right at the knees, outer third of the plate. That's a pitcher's pitch.
A 1-1. Swing and a miss. Curiel now behind 1-2. Brett Irwin, 5 college seasons, 4 of them at UC Davis, 1 at Maine. One, 2. Fouled back to the right side. Curiel just staying alive. UC Davis, where Irwin spent his first 4 seasons, is also the alma mater of current Unicorn Alejandro Lara. Lara on the bench tonight for the Unicorns. Could maybe see him in a pinch hit situation. So Irwin just works Major closer to the bag. Now ready again on the 1-2. Out into left center, ranging over is Califoot. And he makes the grab as Flores was close. Tagging for third is Major. The throw goes to the shortstop, Pup. Runners on the corners with 2 down as Curiel moves the tying run 90 feet closer.
You get the tying run 90 feet away. Off the bat, I thought that was going to have a little more carry on it than it did. But both Flores and Califoot, they got over in that gap in a hurry. I don't know if they saw it really well off the bat, had a really nice first step. But what I thought could have been potentially a double off the bat turned into what was a pretty routine flyout.
Now it all falls on the shoulders of Lucas Gooden. First pitch swinging, he fouls it back. Gooden is 1 for 3 with a walk. He had an RBI double in the 4th to extend the Unicorns' lead at the time. That RBI was the last run to be plated for the Unicorns. 0-1, swing and a miss. Irwin with another good fastball, and the Unicorns are down to their last strike. Ryan Major waits at third base, trying to tie this game, and we'll get a timeout from Gooden. Irwin hasn't faced many lefties before tonight. They were 2 for 7 against him. Gooden trying to make it 3. A hush falls over Jimmy John's field. Irwin now comes set, glove at the belt, delivers the 0-2. Fouled back again. Gooden, seen from that reaction, he might like what he sees. We've been taught that a foul straight back means the hitter is on it just a little behind on the timing. So he likes that fastball.
Go with the slurve in the dirt. See if he'll chase after. He's in ultra defense mode. Throw something low in the dirt.
The 0-2 again. Went high for ball 1.
Could be to change the eye level. Could be to try to get the swing and miss. Interested to see what the plan of attack here. That seemed like a waste pitch. Maybe getting the eyes looking high and away. Maybe bust him inside. Maybe throw something slow and low.
The 1-2 high again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jimmy John's field eerily quiet right now, waiting for this big at bat. Could be the last one, as the Unicorns wait on their last strike. The 2-2 again. Fouled back one more time by Gooden. His second 2-strike foul, his 3rd foul ball in this at-bat. And again, right back to the screen, right back the middle. He's there, just a little late.
He's gone fastball, change-up, fastball. And Gooden, he's been on the heater. I would try to avoid throwing the heater if I could.
2-2. Popped up left side, foul, and out of play. Boy, how about this at bat from Gooden, just to see this many pitches in a tough spot.
All right, you put him in the rocking chair. Fast, slow, buck the trend. You know Gooden has figured it out. He's probably sitting fastball here.
Irwin getting the sign from Porter. Porter's actually not throwing signs. Irwin's just taking time here.
You got to get this pitch off quickly.
Now Porter throws. 3 on the pitch clock. Here it comes. Inside. It skips away. Major's coming home. Porter gets it. Throw to the plate. Not in time. Unicorns tie it on a wild pitch down to their last breath.
That's why you extend the at-bat as long as you can. Pitch low and get another look at it, but it seemed like a fastball that just got through the wickets of Porter. Yeah, he was setting up low and away. Pitch came low and inside, couldn't get over.
Now the 3-2 is popped up. Another foul ball from Gooden. He's seen 8 pitches in this at-bat, and it will be 9. And none bigger than that 7th one that skips by. And now these two teams staring extra innings dead in the face if Lucas Gooden can't get a base hit here. It moved up both runners as Norgren went to second. He's the winning run in scoring position. Full count, Gooden, the 3-2. High, he walked him. What an at-bat from Lucas Gooden. 9 pitches. He works the game-tying wild pitch and a walk to keep the inning alive for the Unicorns.
That's an at-bat where the box score, if you just go, oh, what happened at the USPBL last night, you just see and go, okay, walked, whatever. That was the at-bat of the night. I mean, how many pitches did he foul away and just wearing Irwin down, wearing him down, finally makes a mistake, they take advantage of it, and at worst, they'll get a chance in the sudden death.
I had, by my unofficial scorecard, 4 two-strike fouls, and both of his 2 strikes came on foul balls, so 6 total foul balls in that at-bat for Gooden to work the walk and get on first base, keep the inning alive, passing the baton to Patrick Baggett with a chance to win the game. Baggett thought about swinging at the first pitch. Instead, it's inside with the changeup, ball 1.
Interesting. Starting off with the changeup after such a healthy dose of fastballs early in the inning.
The 1-0 half cut, and Baggett was not there. 2-seamer got him for strike 1.
First 2 swings from, or check swings from Baggett have not been very decisive.
The 1-1 fouled back. Are those some Patrick Baggett cheers I hear?
I think they are.
Baggett with some faithful fans hanging on through the night. The 1-2. Irwin delivers. Chopped foul on the right side. What's going through Irwin's mind right now as he sees another 2-strike foul ball from a Unicorns batter?
Just what do I have to do at this point? He hasn't pitched poorly. I mean, there hasn't been a hit on him. Just been 2 walks and a hit batter. Like you said, beginning of the inning, those will sink you.
1-2 again. Fouled back again.
And he's tried different pitches. He's tried the fastball up high. He's tried the breaking ball low. He's tried to move eye level around, in, out, up, down. Just got to tip the cap to Lucas Gooden and Patrick Baggett making those tough pitches and spoiling them.
And another foul ball on the 1-2.
Want to go back to the Cam Norgren at bat. You had him down 1-2, and you hit him. That's the one, more so than the walk to Gooden. That's just a good battle. This one's a good battle. But the hit batter on 1-2, that's the one that you're going to sit later and going, man, if only.
One more time. Again, Irwin seeing double here in the 9th, as now Baggett has fought off 4 2-strike foul balls. Again, Irwin still ahead in the count, trying to get that last strike and get this game to now what would be the 10th inning. He comes set on the 1-2. High for ball 2. This is eerily similar to the last at bat.
Well, and I don't blame him for missing up after foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. I'm going, all right, you're swinging at everything. Here's a fastball neck high. You want to chase it, go and chase it. Like, at some point, it's just, I just don't want to get another darn foul ball.
Here it is right at the eye. Come hit it. The 2-2 now, and another one high. That one was the off speed, though, and he missed it as it backed up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No way we do it again, right?
Well, that's the second time in the last 2 at-bats. He's gone with the fastball up high and then followed it up with the off-speed, but just missed way too far up. The setup pitch up high doesn't do anything if you miss higher with the changeup.
The 10th pitch of the at-bat. Runners go on the 3-2, and he walked him.
I think Irwin politely disagrees.
He nibbled high. Baggett took a gamble, and the bases are loaded. The winning run 90 feet away. The tying run has already come across in this inning.
Well, this is the last at-bat of the inning. It's all up to Josh Baker. Either we go to the sudden death or Josh Baker's the hero in some way, shape, or form.
As Ryan Cockey has this mound visit, Brady, I've got a stat for you. 6 batters faced for Irwin.
Right.
No hits.
Correct.
A run across and 3 walks. The bases are loaded right now with 2 outs.
And probably, about 30-some pitches thrown?
No hits for the Unicorns to tie it in this game is unreal. And they're great at bats that these Unicorns are having, both from Gooden and Baggett namely, but Major had a good at bat to hang off the fastballs at the start. And now Baker looking to win the game. Inside, off speed, ball 1. And remember, before this night, Brett Irwin had walked nobody in 4 1/3 innings of work. 1-0 is outside, and Porter makes a possibly game-saving catch. 2 balls, no strikes. Irwin just trying to find that imaginary square that sits at home plate.
And there's nowhere to put Baker. You have to come to him, and Baker has to be salivating. He knows this is coming down the pipe.
2-0, and he'll take that one for strike 1. Baker tonight, 1 for 4. Singleton was stranded at second base back in the 3rd inning. A couple contact outs besides that. And the 2-1. On the ground, under the glove of Irwin. Acevedo's there. Throw to first, and the Hoppers survive. No hits in the inning. 3 walks and a hit batter. The Unicorns tie it. We've got sudden death extras here on Thursday night. Stick around. It's 4-4 on the USPBL Network.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
All right, home team Nick Caruso called heads, but it landed on tails, and so the Hoppers are going to choose.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
The Hoppers will bat in the extra innings sudden death 10th inning against the Unicorns. We're all tied at 4. If you've never seen extra innings before in the USPBL, 1, you've been missing out. 2, let me explain it to you. We're going to play 1/2 inning of baseball. The 2 managers during the break got together at home plate, and there was a coin toss. The home team manager, who the representative was Nick Caruso, the assistant manager, made his decision. He decided heads. It landed on tails. Because it's tails, the Hoppers get the choice of whether they want to hit or whether they want to bat, or excuse me, whether they want to hit or whether they want to pitch. If you pitch, you have to get 3 outs, and the batting team starts with a base runner on first. If you get the 3 outs, you win. If you're hitting, you just got to score a run. The Hoppers chose to hit. They'll get Joe Burke, who was the last out in the 9th inning, to be the runner on first, and batting will be Schellenbarger. Burke's got to score. He's the only run that matters. The Unicorns have to record 3 outs. Otherwise, the game is over if the Hoppers score. And, Brady, you were the one paying more attention than I was during the explanation. Justin Gomez looked like he caught a pitch from
near the chin-neck area.
Bauman, as he's being looked at by our trainer right now.
It was during the warm-ups, and, now the trainer's out.
And you saw him there with that big wince, and I don't know if
looks like he's good to go.
Stay in. On the bench for the Unicorns is Jacob Moses and Alejandro Lara.
Bisharat's the other catcher, so you'd have to bring him over from first. And
Moses is
an
outfielder.
You'd put Lara in and move someone over to first because Baker's. Who else would you put at first is the question. Now, obviously, if you can't go, you can't go, especially at the catcher position.
Gomez just gave the thumbs up to our home plate umpire. He's going to try to gut it out here in the extra inning 10th. Bauman was on in the 9th to try to hold the game at a tie game at the time. It was 3-3. He got a ground out to Califoot, then walked Todd Maddox. 9th inning walks are critical. Maddox would move to third on the Taj Porter ground rule double. A strikeout to Pup meant the Hoppers were down to their last strikeout, or last out. They were down to their last strike even, and Acevedo put a single to right field that scored the go-ahead run Maddox. The Unicorns would get another in the bottom of the 9th thanks to 3 walks from Brett Irwin. Ryan Major scored, and that puts us where we are in the 10th. 4-4, Bryant Schellenbarger at the dish with a chance to win the game. First pitch, pounding it foul. Schellenbarger with that big wind-up swing.
Now, the broadcast has come full circle. We mentioned when Francis Florentino got picked up how he robbed a potential walk-off home run. Well, it was off this man, Bryant Schellenbarger, all the way back on opening night.
Inside and a stop by Gomez as Burke is over at first. If the Hoppers wanted to make any substitutions, they have Chandler Dunn, the second baseman, and Whit Hughes, the catcher, on the bench. Noah Marcoux, who can play first and left, as we mentioned, is on the injured reserve with a hamstring right now. Schellenbarger waiting on the 1-1. Skied it in the air. This will get to shallow left, but going back and calling off everybody is Donovan Curiel. Nearly lost it.
I had a snow cone it at the end.
It is just the first out, though. Brings up Chris O'Neill. Boy, O'Neill could use a good at-bat tonight. 3 strikeouts. He's 0 for 4.
And when he's put it in play, it was a double play. But guess what? All those problems go away if you get the game-winning hit.
So we were speculating off air what the Hoppers were going to do with Joe Burke over at first base, whether they were going to pinch run maybe Chandler Dunn for him. That is what they're going to do now after the first out to Schellenbarger. Dunn takes over at first base in place of Burke. Dunn 1 for 1 on steals this year, but does have some speed just in general on the base paths.
Now with 1 away, that's when you start to get a little creative. I don't want to use the word desperate, but when you try to force the issue.
O'Neill takes a ball high from Bauman. Dunn, where's that signature oven mitt on his left hand over at first base? And the oven mitt always signifies someone who's looking to take the extra base, whether it's by a steal or ball in play. O'Neill check swing, didn't go.
It's a little twitchy over at first, but up 2-0 in the count. Maybe slow your roll a little bit. See if you can move up, no problem.
O'Neill back foul straight over our heads. 2 balls and a strike. The Hoppers 6-6 on the year. They've been above the 500 mark once. That was in a doubleheader, and they promptly lost the second game, trying to get above it and go to bed above 500 for the first time this year.
Ryan Kotke wanted the offense. He trusted his bats.
2-1, softly on the ground. Now that I think about it, the Hoppers actually were above 500. They won the opening day
doubleheader.
But since then, it's been this offense, this quiet offense that came to life a little bit tonight for 4 runs thanks to some power from Alex Pup in the 7th inning.
2-2 count. This is when you move him. Off-speed pitch likely coming. He's been twitching over at first. Put him on the move.
O'Neill, check swing, went too far. Strike 3. And the second out means the Unicorns are 1 out away, and the rookie, Joey Califoot, is going to dig in.
Well, we had some fresh meat that tied it in the 9th. Why not have another rookie end it here in the extra half inning?
It's a second strikeout for Bauman. He came on to start the 9th. Now he'll face Califoot, righty-lefty. The winning run for the Hoppers is over at first. Califoot takes strike 1.
That's a tough pitch to take. That's an off-speed belt high, maybe a little in, but that's probably the best pitch you're going to get to see all at bat.
Califoot 1 for 4, singled his first time up. A couple of contact outs since then. He backs out of the way of that one.
Radar gun had it only at 84. Maybe it was the pop in the glove and it just hit it right, but it seemed like it got up on Califoot a lot quicker than that. For reference, that first pitch was about 82.
Outside, 2-1. Califoot was outstanding at Edgewood, as we mentioned, where he went to college in Madison, Wisconsin. 500 on-base percentage this last year. Was second team all-region by D3Baseball.com. Looking to get on base in any way right here, keep the inning alive at minimum.
Well, that was another good pitch. That one was just below the letters, caught a lot of the plate. He's had 2 good hittable pitches in this at-bat.
It's going to take a pretty well-hit ball to score Dunn from first, even though he has speed.
That's why I'm surprised he hasn't been on the move at all.
The 2-2, they work him back to the bag. That's a nice job by Bauman. Didn't expect that. I'm sure Dunn didn't either.
No, and I'm wondering at this point, hey, just worry about the batter. You've gotten this far. And he hasn't shown that he's even thought about moving. It's not like he had to go back on a foul ball. Worry about the batter.
The 2-2. Inside, nice stop by Gomez to backhand pick that.
Now he'll be off with the pitch off with the pitch at first base done. So now it doesn't take a ball deep in the gap. Just a base hit could win this game.
Down to their last strike. 2 outs here in the extra inning. The 3-2. Smoked foul.
I think it broke the bat.
Califoot. And he's going to have to take this long walk back to the dugout to go get a new bat. It's been a long at-bat. It was the long at-bats from the Unicorns in the bottom half of the 9th that led to them being able to tie this game down to their last strike on a wild pitch from Brett Irwin. Irwin had walked nobody before tonight, and he walked 3, including the ultimate tying run in the bottom of the 9th with a chance for the save. Califoot's grabbed a new bat. He'll dig in on that left side. The infield is deep. Middle of the infield, a step onto the outfield grass. The 3-2. Runner goes to left side. That's through the infield. Dunn's going to try to stretch it to 3. No, he's not. He's going to back up and go to second. The ball was bobbled for a moment by Gooden. Chandler Dunn maybe had a chance to get to third base and move 90 feet from winning the ball game. But Joey Califoot keeps it alive with a 10th inning single to bring up Todd Maddox.
And I get not wanting to be the final out of the game at third base. Yeah, that opens up the pass ball. It opens up something screwy, but you're on second. You're in scoring position. You're going to trust Todd Maddox, who has only been retired once today, to get on base and give you a chance to win this game.
And we talked about it early in the game. That ground ball single through the left side of the infield was resulting in a lot of base hits for the Hoppers. And there's another one as Califoot takes advantage. Maddox has scored each of his last 2 plate appearances. He singled in the 7th and came around on the pup home run. Walked and scored last time. This one's out to right. That one's pretty well struck. Major ranging over. He makes the grab, running up against the wall, and the Unicorns survive. The rookie in his debut, Ryan Major, comes up with a major grab, and the Unicorns win it in extras.
Gave it a ride. He had a good beat on it, and the littlest things make the difference, and without great hitting again, the Unicorns just find a way to win.
The Unicorns move to 8-4 on the year. The Hoppers fall a game below, 6-7. Not for a valiant effort, though. A 4-run comeback. They were down 3 runs, came back, scored 4 unanswered. They gave one up in the 9th, but ultimately this was a really fun game, both sides.
Yes, it was. And the thing that's going to sting is they tied it in the 9th without a hit, excuse me.
The Unicorns benefit from 3 walks and a wild pitch to tie it in the bottom of the 9th. Then they get the 3 necessary outs in the extra inning 10th, and they take this one over the Hoppers on Thursday. We'll be right back with the post-game show here on the USPBL Network. Hoppers fall to the Unicorns in extras.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a Tigers watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At FSBCares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBCares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. We're good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
You dreamed of starting a company.
Down here on the field with our player of the game in his professional debut, Ryan Major. You scored twice in a low-scoring 4-run game for your team. You had the final out. Pretty good welcome to the league, huh?
I would say so. It's definitely an opportunity, and I just tried to take the run with it and just take the most of it, everything I could.
So take me through that first at-bat. You get the first pro single out of the way, a good at-bat. You line one out into the outfield. You get to get on base, and then you get to score as well. What's going through your mind that first time up? You got all these fans here. What's it like out there?
Oh, the environment's crazy. I think the best thing right now, especially first debut, is just stick to the approach that I've had my whole life for most of my career, and that's what's got me here. So nothing really changes. Just try to keep it simple and just do a job and give my team the best opportunity to score as many runs as possible.
And so then you lead off the bottom of the ninth, down by a run. You guys just gave it up. You're facing Irwin, who up until this point had not walked anybody on the year. He's throwing gas 92, 93 on the gun out of there. You see some good fastballs, but you lay off. You get the walk. You get all the way around to third with the rest of the stuff that goes on in the inning, and then the wild pitch brings you home. What was your mindset being the tying run 90 feet from the plate in that close at-bat? You guys were down to your last strike.
Yeah, we were. I'd really say is just take a deep breath as much as possible. I know Skip was just saying, wait for a fastball, take a good secondary. So that was just going through my mind. I know the third baseman was playing back a little bit, so that was in my mind. I had to understand where the ball was going to bounce. I had to understand there's bricks back here. It could bounce quick, so it just had to be a quick read, and I just made the right read right there.
And then in the extra inning, you guys had the winning run in scoring position. Defensively, trying to get that last out. That ball is smoked out to you. You got to make a long run to the foul line. What goes through your head as soon as you see that ball off the bat?
Probably nothing. Just see the ball, try to get to it as fast as I can, no matter what it is. If I have to dive, lay out, no matter what. Just see ball, get there as fast as I can to catch that.
Well, it was an impressive debut and a nice win for you guys. Congratulations very much.
I
appreciate you being here. That's Ryan Major, our player of the game. The Unicorns win it in extra innings over the Hoppers. Tomorrow it's Hoppers and Beavers on the USPBL Network. For Brady Beaton, my partner, I'm Brendan Shabath. We'll see you next time.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we're unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see